Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I am your host, Ahmani Brown. This is the Deep Dive Nexus, and we have our little friends over here. We have Aaron,
Hello.
we have Devaughn,
You're
we have Leon,
Hello.
and this is Paper Play Action versus Red Pills.
Oh God.
We're going against Red Pill
What?
Media.
What? Oh God.
Yeah. This deep dive is about this. So,
You know what I
I
immediately
guess.
thought of? Devaughn,
what?
Tim Pool.
That's such a bad person for this world, bro. I hate that.
Bro,
Tim
I
Pool-
hate. He fell so bad. He actually genuinely, unironically fell so hard into like that red pill pipeline. It is
It's
very
sad.
interesting.
Gotta love
He,
it.
he does a lot of fear mongering, and it's so bad. Like every video.
Anyone who doesn't know, and like, I hope to God it doesn't get to him because he might be the kind of person to actually get fucking upset over us talking about
I
it
know,
at
right?
this
It'd be
point.
funny.
I don't know. He was a
Run it.
reporter. I don't know if he still is a reporter. I don't know what he does now. He's dedicated himself mostly to YouTube. But when Trump got elected, he was he's a centrist individual, or was a centrist individual.
Yeah.
Who was very much like, hey, I'm gonna try to keep myself very, not either side. I'm just gonna report things as I see them. He would report shit. Typically political stuff. That's what he emphasized in. And Devon and I consumed in his media quite a bit actually because he was very informative. Like he actually for a very long time was a very informative person, and like over the years he started getting more and more like he had things happen to him. There were people that like tried to break into his house apparently, and like there was like a whole bunch of shit, and like it started making him more and more like conservative, I guess. I don't know, more right leaning in terms of how the U.S. is, and like it's to the point now where like he has people on his like podcast / show or whatever that are like actual pseudoscientists that are not scientists. They're just like
They're pseudoscience.
they're like, yeah, but calling them anything scientist is an insult.
It's
to
not
science,
fair.
you know
Yeah,
what
it's
I
a
mean?
little too generous.
I
Honestly.
think it's incredibly way too generous to call them fucking pseudoscientists. A fucking chiropractor is a pseudoscientist. I don't think chiropractors are bad people. That's a fucking pseudoscience though. Versus like some of the people he brings on his show are people that believe in like bullshit like free energy, which is like this concept in physics which is talked about but it doesn't exist in real life. Like it just doesn't work that way, you know what I mean? And like people that like are promoting potentially like harmful things, like genuinely like the like flat earth community, people that are
Things
very
of that nature.
against
Yeah.
people that are very against the establishment, even if it comes to science, where I think is a very interesting thing of like this isn't an establishment, this is people verifying shit.
Yeah.
The way science works isn't like a government where people will be paid to lie. Doctors, like it's not that way. Like scientists study shit, you make sure it works. It works, you hand it off to somebody else on the other side of the planet, and they try what you did again to see if it works for them, and then you do that a bunch of times until like it's established enough that people go, okay, we can accept
that's
this.
just how that works.
This
Like,
is
it
accepted.
just
Like
does
that's
that.
it,
Yeah.
it's not a matter of opinion usually. It's a matter of like this is verifiable. You know what I mean? And like it got to a point where I was like legit unfollowed him on YouTube and Twitter and like literally everything because the only thing he would ever post was like fear mongering shit. When it was with Trump, it was like, oh, Trump's gonna do all this fucked up shit, and then he started getting a bit more on the pro Trump side, and then with Biden and like all these like other things, he's very, very, very fear mongery. And I just got to a point where I just couldn't tolerate it anymore because every time that I'd get on, it'd be one of his videos talking about they're gonna do this horrible thing, and I'm like, I don't even live in this country anymore. Realistically, like, fuck it.
I don't even care.
Fuck it. And like also Devon, I was like, we got to a point where we were talking. And it's like, yeah, it just depresses me. Like it's just depressing to look at this shit. And I'm like, yeah, maybe we should stop watching this stuff because it's not even like it's just
It's
depressing.
not helping me.
Like it's not helping us in any way. It just makes it sad, and it's genuinely there to make you scared. So like it's weird seeing a creator on YouTube go down that right pill rabbit hole really hard, honestly, considering he was a centrist. And I think being a centrist, you're on that precipice at all times of going one way or the other. But like it was rough because like I disagreed with him on a few things, but it was like stuff that I was like, yeah, we can disagree on this, and like realistically it's not going to affect like he can still be biased and like non-biased, I guess, rather. And now it's just like no, it's a very biased individual, like incredibly biased.
God, I
Anyways,
love it.
sorry.
So,
Red pill.
yes.
We're all
So,
we're all
just to
we're
be
all
sure,
men
'cause-
here. We're all men here, which
We're
are
all men here.
literally the ones that are the most pushed by red pill shit. Like the ones like that's.
Oh yeah, no, it's
The
constant.
moment
It's
any
crazy.
kind of social media finds out you are a man and you are between the ages of like 15 and like 30,
30. Oh, dude,
it's insane.
the
Like
the
it's
demographic
insane.
straight up is just
It's insane,
yeah.
and it's really scary for like I think a lot of younger men.
Oh yeah,
They get
general.
sucked into it. I got very lucky that I have a lot of people around me that like whenever I'm like if ever I'm thinking something, I like to bounce it off of you or like Devaughn or like my cousin Mao and places like people who think differently than I do in a lot of situations. In the way that like certain things go, and like I'm glad I had people like that around me because like it is so easy to fall into this echo chamber.
If
Yeah,
if you do not have like at least somewhat of anyone in your ear to just be like, hey man, wait a minute, these people might be a little crazy, like
the shit they're saying
you
it's a
will
little
fall
crazy.
into red pill stuff so
And like
easy.
and it's not even something you have to look at for. Like I remember I looked up video of like I don't remember it was probably like a judge video about something, and then it's like, oh, you're a young man, and like let me just give you all this random ass like a bunch of media that's like men go their own way and fucking red pill shit, and it's like what the fuck is all this shit? Yeah,
You gotta be
sigma
an
male,
alpha, beta.
male,
Don't
bullshit.
be a beta.
Yeah, like all
Don't be a
that,
gamma.
all that shit, dude. Like holy shit, the whole alpha male thing bothers me that it's real. Like as a joke, it's so funny, but like. It's real. Like it's real. I've had female friends that are like, no, I've been on dates with guys who like refer to themselves as like alphas, and like
We've known people that have done that too.
They needed
like,
a
just straight
woman
up.
of like they need a quality woman or a woman who like brings something like shit like that kind of like wordplay that they use of like if you're not worth it then you're like literally you're not worth it. You know what I mean? Like you got to bring something. And it's like this weird ass mentality.
Also,
God damn.
I guess we should probably do this just for people that might not know. Let's just define red pill media as like a whole, right? So like people like Andrew Tate, if you've ever like listened to him, guys, or Fresh and Fit, where like they have
Jesus
this
Christ,
idea
dude.
of
Fresh. I hadn't thought of them in years, like an actual minute, bro.
Oh, dude. Because I'm gonna be honest, because I like walk that line of like checking out stuff that like I don't agree with, and also checking out stuff that like I do agree with. I get stuff from them like a lot, and I'll be like, "Let me hear you out," and then I'm like,
"Guys called Abba and Preach." I don't know if you watch Abba and Preach, but they're pretty decent, like positive male.
They're cool.
Positive male, like maybe not model, but like they're a positive reinforcement, and they call out people on a lot of the bullshit. Watching them call out Fresh and Fit as many times as they did is so funny.
That's so fun.
We can give it like an actual definition, I guess, for red pill. But like red pill is like a umbrella term encapsulating like this whole thing called the manosphere. Literally, that's what this called, the manosphere. Cringiest kind of people you'll meet. These are the kind of people who think of the big buff dude who was eating all raw shit and would eat testicles and shit and talk about how that's what made him so buff. But turns out he's been doing fucking steroids plethurously his whole fucking life, even though it's very obvious he is. People like that, people like Fresh and Fit, like Ahmani said, Andrew Tate, a lot of anyone that refers to the Matrix IRL, like in real life, okay? If they say that to you and they say, oh, you're living in the Matrix, they probably are jobless. They are also bitchless. So, like, they have... like, they are living a sad life.
Truly. They basically profiteer off of the mental health of young men and essentially try to be a...
Not even just young, but young and vulnerable men.
Yes.
Young and vulnerable men that want to, like... They either are lacking a positive male figure in their life, or they don't have a male figure in their life, or they feel like they themselves are not adequate for some reason, so they have to find ways to make themselves adequate via
the things you do around puberty going upwards when you're awkward and you're like,
Yeah,
damn,
you're trying to. You
I
as a
just
young
don't
man
know
are
how to
trying
fit
to.
in.
You're trying to figure yourself out as a guy living in like you have to figure yourself out in society as a young man. You know what I mean? And like I don't know, like I don't not really find your niche, but you have to learn to be like okay with yourself.
Yeah,
Just be okay
comfortable.
with who you are. Be comfortable with yourself. And there's people out there that unfortunately are going to market and capitalize on you feeling uncomfortable with yourself, but they're going to try to make you feel worse about yourself and then
And push you in the
sell
worst
you
possible
ways to make
direction.
yourself better. Not only take you in the
Mm.
worst possible direction, they will sell you their fucking this is
Help,
my
get help. Yeah, your
my
help
my 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 help
stuff.
fucking boot camp or whatever for like $4,000, and it's just
I'll
them
talk to
getting
you
on
about
the
things.
computer
Yeah,
on a fucking Skype call and talking to you for like an hour. You know what I mean? Like it's really not something
and
that
some
they're
going around in circles and having the craziest leaps in logic that I've
it
ever seen.
it is an umbrella of a lot of things on
Yeah.
YouTube. I remember when I moved here to Costa Rica, especially, it was really hard. Like I would get it all the time. There's an entire part of YouTube that just goes. It's called "Men Go Their Own Way." It's literally what it's called. It's cringy as
Mhm.
fuck. It's the idea that like women in today's society are worthless and they don't do anything, and you don't really need a woman. You can just be happy by yourself. You know, that kind of mentality of like fuck women. All these chicks
It's
that like divorce you are
it's
evil.
crazy
Women are
misogynist.
just
Actually.
yeah. It's in it.
It's
It is. It
crazy
is by
misogynistic.
by its like by its own existence. Red pill is very misogynist. Typically,
Yeah.
like as how they go through things. They're gonna look at things from a very conservative mindset in a lot of situations. But then you have people like Andrew Tate, who was a fucking OnlyFans pimp. So
Mhm.
like not
Mhm.
necessarily.
And a couple other things too, but you know.
Oh, there's a lot of
Oh
other
my
Absolute
God.
supervillain.
There's a lot of
But-
other things, but for the main
that's the
part,
main one,
what
yeah.
he got a ton of his money from was basically he would get these girls that were on OnlyFans selling the stuff and be like,
Mhm.
"Hey, I will promote you as long as you give me a cutback of how much you make." Basically, a
Yeah.
pimp, like essentially
Yeah.
an online pimp. And there's dudes who will sell you this conservative mindset while they themselves are not living in that kind of world. You know what I mean? There's dudes that be like, yeah, you know, I'm a high value man. Are you really? Why?
Yeah.
What
Oh,
makes
yeah.
you high value?
That's
You know
that's
what I
the
mean?
one you'll always hear.
Like
is
I'm a
how to
high
be
value
high
man.
value
How to
man.
be a high value man? It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Being a high value man? Like, what the shit do you mean? Like a job? Like I get
A
having
job.
like what the fuck do you mean? And it's always the kind of shit that's like have a job, have a nice house, have like a fucking Jaguar or some fucking expensive ass car that you don't need, buy
Yeah.
expensive ass clothes that make you like look like an asshole, fucking work out a lot, and like even though like a lot of them aren't even working out that much, they're on steroids.
Just on steroids.
You know, there's tons of people that like will sell you. I've seen boot camps and shit like that. It's fucking
man,
insane, dude. God damn.
I think one of the worst things about it that makes it super predatory is that, and they all follow this exact same method, is that they will initially, and you'll probably catch clips of it, initially have something that sounds relatively reasonable.
Like they
Right.
will start off in a place where you
Yeah.
can go. I understand where you're coming
I
from.
can-
I
I
may
can
not
see
agree
that.
with you, but I can understand
I
where you're
can
coming from,
understand that.
and you might be a little bit right. Even you might even be a tiny bit right, like the tiniest actual genuine right. And then
Don't
they
skip
pull
10
you in.
seconds.
And
Yeah.
they'll pull you in with that. They'll pull you in with that alone. And then, as Devaughn said, you skip 10 seconds in. And if you haven't kind of figured it out yet, because obviously, you can get pulled into it, you get 10 seconds in, and if you don't have critical thinking, or at the very least, are
Or
more
you're
interested in what they're trying to say
yeah.
than, like, the average person. Like, you hear them out, and you're like, you know what, maybe you're right. Maybe I want to hear you more. You start to lean towards it. And they will slowly reel you in to what usually is kind of a wild take.
Yeah.
But you're already on the ride, so you're like, okay, maybe you're making sense.
Yeah.
No.
Well, also like
Nah.
the term red pill also to like define was before like the whole red pill like area, like this whole area of the internet existed. Taking
Yeah.
the red pill was just like a life altering realization, like something that you realize, oh damn, I took the red pill. Like you just you took the red pill on the fact that your
It's the
relationship
Matrix.
with your girlfriend
Yeah.
was not working very well. It's from the Matrix. It's literally
Mhm.
like essentially like a connection to that. But what it meant was like you having this life altering realization about a lot of different things. It's not just about I don't know, being a man. A red pill could be like
Yeah.
literally like, oh shit, I literally just had this like life realization that like I'm wasting my
An
like my
epiphany.
life away
Yeah.
on this job that I'm working on right now or something. Like I need to change my, it could be something very different. You know what I mean? But like they use the red pill because like that, like red pill good, red pill means truth, blue pill means bad. And then I think that also became like political because the United States like has the whole red versus blue thing when it comes to Democrat and like Republican.
That's a whole thing too.
So like it became a whole thing.
A little bit.
It plays into it, and it is very true because I think a lot of red pillars are they want to seem conservative, or they want to appeal to more like quote unquote conservative values, even though they themselves
traditional relationships.
Yeah, even though they're picking and choosing where they want a traditional value, like they are picking and like they're not like 100% of the way there. It's very picky and choosy. Now I can say that like there are different kinds of red pill because there are red pill women. You know, there's like a whole part of the world like dedicated to that stuff. And all that other stuff too. There's a lot of things. I think the red pill for men is like where you start. Like the red pill is how a lot of young dudes get into that like darker mentalities, so like getting black pilled and all that stuff. It is the easiest accessible one because it'll start off with like, here's a video of like a divorce court hearing. And that divorce court hearing that you just watched on YouTube for whatever fucking reason is now going to give you 7 videos about stories about dudes who got their lives destroyed by their wives taking their fucking like whole like life savings in the divorce. And like, yeah, that happens, but like not every chick is going to be trying to do that to you. Mm-hmm. You know, like there's this weird demonization of women in red pill, which is a big part of why it's so misogynist. And also, very much a brushing under the fucking rug a lot of the shit that men do, which is also very bad.
Yeah. Oh, man. It's such an interesting topic to go into. Especially since, I mean, like we said before, all 4 of the people here are the demographic that they aim at. Like, straight up.
They aim hard at me. Bro, I like guns. You know how hard? Bro, I like guns, Ahmani. I watch gun YouTube shit. Do you know how hard? If they find out, oh, you like guns, that means you're probably a Republican. And it's like, no, bitch, fuck you. Like, actually, fucking shit out of my face. Get this shit out of my fucking face. Like, it's very annoying. Like, if you watch any kind, you watch workout videos. Like, you look up like motivational workout videos. You'll start getting some weird motherfuckers, man. To start like that, they start off with that shit, and then you get deeper into their content. And that's when you start seeing like a lot of the fucked up shit they do. It's a very, I don't know. It's really fucked up for me because they go after very like people that are in very vulnerable states, like very states of time. You know, when you're
also. I just want to point this out. One of the things that they do, because you'll always see a podcast clip of them doing this, right? But like, I feel like they gun for. Okay, this is the dumbest part about it. So they have like the most one-sided conversations while pretending like it's a conversation.
It's deep, like it's some deep fucking revelation about the world.
Oh, the world, but not even just that, because they'll have situations where it's like, they're proving that women are shallow, right? But they'll have women on it. But it's also like the worst representation of like
they
a female
will
mindset
actively,
ever.
Yeah, they'll bring in, and this is I don't want to snap, but they'll bring in some like hood rat people. You know what I mean? Like,
they'll bring in some very unintelligent hoes. Genuinely,
yeah. They be bringing in actual hoes. Like that's the problem.
Yeah.
They bring in like they go into a club. They go into a club full of people and like pick like the people who are the most like fucking party like drunk and shit like that. You know, and they're like, okay, we're gonna need you to come to a podcast next week. And like it's a lot of these girls are not good people. Like they're not good people. Don't get me wrong.
They're just not.
But the girls they bring on the show are intentionally not great people, so that they can like legit talk about it. But then on top of that, they bring these girls on, and then they like start attacking these girls, and the girls then start getting defensive because like you're attacking them, and like the girls are gonna get defensive.
But you're trash anyway.
God bless.
As most people would get defensive.
God forbid. The few times they've brought in actual intelligent women onto their shows, like Fresh and Fit, the few times that they've actually
and they get
brought
dunked on
intelligent women, they get dunked on, and then also they bring dudes who are quote unquote like valuable men who are like probably rich dudes or whatever. I don't fucking know. And like a lot of these rich dudes have like no fucking personality because they probably are either mommy and daddy rich or like they got rich in some way that like was just physical. Usually in a lot of the ways, like these dudes are physically attractive in some way.
So they modeled, they did something, they saved their money, they invested, something weird.
Right? And then like the times they bring in dudes who are like not aligning to their mentality, the dudes are like, bro, what the fuck are you guys talking about? Like it is insane to watch like it fall apart when it's like, yeah, you guys aren't like you guys have a podcast, okay, but you're not you aren't multimillionaires. You rent
it's the wildest echo chamber.
You rent your fucking sports cars for the weekends, motherfucker. You don't have money. Like, I'm sorry to break it to you. Like, you are cosplaying rich people right now. Like, you are genuinely doing that. You're doing your best, but it just doesn't work that way. Whenever they bring in actual, like whenever they bring in actual rich people onto the show, you can tell the difference. They want to seem buddy with these guys, but even the dudes, like, yeah, like, I don't give a fuck about you. Like, I'm just here for like publicity or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? And like a lot of the times, rich dude will be like, "What do you bring to the table to this girl?" And then the girl, being a hoe, goes, "I can suck your dick real good, and I can fuck you real good." And then they'll make a whole fucking 20 minutes about like, "See, that's the problem with women in today's society. This is all they think about is like defining themselves by the holes." And it's like,
yeah, it's
motherfucker, like they'll do stuff like that, and it's just like, you know, you're skewing the data to your advantage.
Because most females are not like this.
Most chicks aren't going to define themselves by every hole in their body. You're bringing hoes to the table who define themselves by that. That's a whole different kind of person from, like, I don't know, like the average woman who's just trying to make a living and like have a life and like not be abused. You know, because that's realistic. Most
just don't want to get hurt.
You know, but most dudes. I will always say this, like, you know, any dudes out there. If everything you want, there is some chick out there that wants the same thing. You just got to find the right one and actually know people. I think in today's society, we have this weird, like, nothing bad can happen to us kind of mentality sometimes that people be forgetting. Like, yeah, putting yourself in this relationship, you are doing it to yourself in a lot of those situations. If it's that bad of a relationship and you've only ever had bad girlfriends, there's a common denominator there. There's one common denominator there. It is you. Why are you attracted to these women? Or why are you attracting these women? What's going on here? Like, there's got to be something. Or why are you choosing?
It's like it could be several things. I mean, to be fair, you're not wrong. It's a lot of cases. It's like, why are you attracted to these women that keep hurting you? But in some cases, it's just like,
what do you do
maybe
to
let's just
them?
look at the relationship. What are we doing wrong here? Like, what am I fucking up? Sometimes it's your fault. Sometimes it's not. You
Like,
have to look at both.
Both people can be wrong in a relationship. Yeah. It's totally possible. You know,
it's completely possible.
Very possible.
I think with Red Pill podcasts, they like, I mean, shorts is like kind of how they propagate, like YouTube shorts. They do their, like,
for sure.
A young kid sees like a YouTube short of like this dude dunking on some like chick who seems like a total bitch. So the guy's like, yeah, fuck this bitch. And like, as much as it's fucked up, as dudes, even if it's something that like we don't do on purpose, your brain will sometimes be like, nah, dude, I'm kind of gonna try to be on the guy's side a little bit because it's a dude, you know. You gotta.
He was like, I know where he's coming from.
I know where he's. I'm a dude, you know. Like, I know where he's coming from, you know. So like, as a younger man, especially when I don't know, like, maybe I don't know if you guys had a lot of female friends growing up. I had a ton of female friends growing up, so like, there was a lot of stuff that I would hear my male friends do, and I'm like, what the fuck are you thinking?
Wrong
like, like, what's wrong with you? Like,
why would you do that?
You know? And like, I'm proud to say that, like, I don't think anybody in our friend group is like a fucking bad person to their partners. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think anybody that we're with is like as bad to their partners or like, you know, abusive in any way that I would know of. And like, in general, the way that they discuss their partners, it's very like I don't know if there's any women that listen to our podcast. The idea that dudes sit in a room and just talk about fucking their girlfriends and the things they do to their girlfriends
that just doesn't,
that's
the
like
most.
That's crazy.
Like, women do that shit. Girls do that shit. It's nasty as fuck. Guys don't do that shit. Guys will be like, yeah, you know, we had sex, we fucked, you know. So, hell yeah, high five, let's go.
That's it.
But if you're the dude, if you're the dude who comes in and is like, yeah, man, I was like doing this to her, and then I bent her over like this and did that. Like, every dude in the group is gonna be like, hey, bro, shut the fuck up.
In fact, which is a perfect example. So, our current president does have audio of that, like, just of something similar. I would obviously say that is not normal locker room talk. As a nigga that's been in locker rooms on like
I've been in locker
so
rooms.
many times.
Normal
that
locker room
not
talk is
normal
calling each
locker
other
room
slurs.
talk.
Normal locker room talk is calling each other slurs. Fuck it. He was calling another dude the hard R. That's locker room talk. I would honestly,
I believe that one, man.
As much as I don't like the motherfucker, it's like shit, man. He was like, things I've said to people in a locker room, man, I can't even blame him. Like, fuck. But the shit he was saying was like some genuine, like, okay, this is like.
It's usually some self-deprecating or roasting or at most it's
that
borderline
either
harassment.
your
in some
friends
cases.
roast you or you roast them about something about
Yeah,
physically about
or
you.
some
Oh, yeah,
dudes
it's
get into a
just
fight in the
borderline
locker
harassment.
room. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like some shit like that.
But
with
it's
your kids.
not. It's not that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like realistically, most normal men do not discuss that kind of shit with like unless it's like with like I've had conversations about that stuff with like really close friends occasionally. Occasionally, you know, like
And
really
that's maybe because you want some advice or like
either advice
there's a
or like,
reason
hey man,
behind
this
it.
happened and I need to talk to you about it.
I just
Devaughn
need to
fucking
talk, yeah.
ousted my ass over something a fucking year or so back, bro. That shit was insane to me. Over
It's like I told you that in the most private of privacy.
Hey, life be not be like that, bro.
But like overall, most like I don't know. I think of myself. I think I'm a pretty good like of everybody. Like I don't think anybody that we were with is like this is a guy's a bad boyfriend. You know what I mean? There's some people that need to work on themselves. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah,
like I think
of
everybody
course.
needs to work on themselves to some extent. But like some
Self-improvement
people might need
is
a
a
bit,
thing.
bit of self improvement. But like this idea of like bring them on here and then belittle them. This will somehow teach them to not be this way. It's just not doing anything. These girls are just gonna get pissed off and be like, "Fuck these guys." I don't give a fuck. And they're just going to get more into what they're thinking. And then dudes who watch it are just going to be like, well, any dude who watches Fresh and Fit consistently is a red flag, number one.
That is a red flag. For females that are listening, yeah. If whoever you're trying to look at or thinking about being with consistently, like, you can always see them looking into, like, red pill content, like Fresh and Fit, Andrew Tate, things of that nature. Like, if you see them looking at that, I think it's like Kevin Samuels, I think. Is it one of them too?
No,
Yeah,
Kevin
he
Samuels.
Like
Which one is Kevin Samuels?
He's like this black guy that he was in a suit, older gentleman, has glasses.
Well, Kevin Samuels wasn't red pill though. No. I will actually.
He wasn't red pill.
Him, he wasn't red pill.
He's considered in like the manosphere.
Yeah, he was manosphere.
I could be wrong with the word. He's dead though.
Yeah, he passed away. He was manosphere, but he'd been doing shit for a very long time. He had a talk show and everything, and like he'd been doing things for a while. And he would just have people call onto the show. And the difference was, I think, but the difference
it's not as bad.
The difference that I think with him, because I watched him when I was younger a bit, is that he wouldn't necessarily always like he would let them at least speak, like he would let them explain their points, and then he'd be like, okay, let me give you my opinion, and then he would do all that kind of shit, you know what I mean? And on top of that, he never he didn't propagate it in such a way where he was like trying to get young men to fucking watch his fucking podcasts and a lot of like young kids. It was
pointing
just
something out.
This is him pointing shit out, and a lot of times I'm not gonna lie, he was in the right in a lot of situations. He was just an asshole, and that was it. He was an asshole, and it's like people are like, why are you such an asshole? And it's like, well, he's an asshole. You called onto a show of a guy who's a known asshole, and he was an asshole to you. That's gonna happen. Like it's just
also I do think it's like a bit of a trap because like you're calling on to try to debate this man who's like his entire career is debating this exact topic. Like you're kind of walking into some crazy stuff.
It is a trap, but you're doing it. You're doing it yourself. That's the thing is you are doing it yourself. You're calling onto the show. A lot of these things that they're bringing them on to have a conversation, and then they're like, you're in a room with them trapped. You know what I mean? Like you are literally there, and it's like okay, like. And also, the shit they asked them is like total dumb shit. I stopped watching Fresh and Fit, so I honestly don't remember what they would talk about that much. But I remember they would just ask them the most ridiculous, dumb shit, and then like, what does this achieve? Have a conversation about this.
I was like, this is this is not. It's
like there was no back and forth.
They're bullying people.
Yeah,
that aren't prepared for this level of attack or like obviously aren't. They didn't come here to debate this thing. They came here because you was like, oh yeah, you can come on, we can talk, we can have a conversation, and it started off probably as a normal conversation, and now they're getting like bombarded by a situation they think is outrageous, but they didn't have time to prepare for it by like any means.
There's so many like Fresh and Fit is just a very specific. You know who else is like a very hard red pillar is unironically fucking Ben Shapiro. That dude's like a hardcore that dude's entire fucking career. Yeah. Dude's entire fucking career is that dude's so hardcore into the red pill stuff. That I didn't know he was serious for the first year that I knew him of his existence. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he does seem like he's a joke. I'm not gonna lie. That's not even like
I thought he was a fucking the way he talked,
like Tosh,
his mannerisms,
Tosh 1.0 or something like that. Yeah,
like his mannerisms, the way he talked, I was like, this guy's got to be impersonating that kind of person, and that's his whole.
Yeah, like he's joking.
You know,
right?
that's his whole shtick. Then I found out no, like he believes in the stupid shit he says, and I remember I was like legit like, no way, this guy actually believes because I saw I'd never actually seen and sat down and watched an interview with the guy. I just seen clips of him here and there, and I was like, he just seems like a weird guy. Fuck it.
Mhm.
But like, I
And then
watched
as
one
you looked
interview
in-
with him, and I was like, wait, no, this guy actually believes in this shit. This
That's
guy
just him.
believes this shit. He's
Oh, no,
actually
that's
like
just him.
like a genuine bad person. Holy fuck! And like, he was just a bad person. And like he became worse and like solidified in his own stance because he started making money off of it, lots and lots
Yeah.
of money off of it. And then you
That
have
tends
like
to happen.
I don't know if y'all know about Jordan Peterson or who Jordan Peterson is.
Yeah.
Thought everyone knows.
Jordan Peterson was a psychologist. He was a professor at the University of Canada, and he basically did a protest because they passed. This was years ago, like years ago. He did a protest because Canada made it law that legally you had to abide by people's pronouns. Like legally, if you were like in a professor or stuff, like you have to legally abide by people's pronouns.
Didn't that run into like a lot of problems?
It ran into a ton of problems. In Canada, it ran into a whole bunch of problems, and a bunch of them were transphobes and people who were very misogynistic, but also like very transphobic, and in general, they didn't like gay people.
They weren't good.
They didn't, So like with him, it started off as genuinely he was like, I respect if someone comes into my class and tells me that they are she, her, and they are trans, I will respect their pronouns 100%. My issue, or his issue, was that legally there was never a precedent for the government telling you what you could and couldn't say.
That's
legally.
true.
And from a
And
legal
that's
standpoint,
problematic.
that existing
fair.
creates a problem. That's where he was coming from. And he had his reason for doing it was that. And unfortunately, he got very popular on the internet for a lot of like good and bad. He was at the time a very good professor. He was like doing very well. He would win on a lot of debates. And he would debate people about it. And he did some decent stuff, like, good debates here and there. He was on an interview with Kathy Newman that was genuinely one of the most painful interviews to watch if you ever want to get mad, because he is sitting there going, no, this is not what I'm saying. I'm saying this. And then Kathy Newman would go, no, was it Kathy Newman? It was some British chick. It might have been Kathy Newman. It was a blonde British woman. Either way,
what you mean. I've been in those arguments.
She would be like, she would say, "Oh, so you mean this bad, horrible thing?" And he would go,
I'm like,
no,
no.
that's literally not what I said. What I said is verbatim this." And then she would then again try to twist his words, and it was for like an hour.
Like,
and like genuinely, it was so painful to fucking watch, because like even if she had a good point, I'm not gonna agree with her, because holy shit, like you're not making a point. You're just skewing. You're just being an asshole.
skewing everything he's saying.
So like
in every direction but how he's saying.
He started going more and more and more and more popular, and more and more and more and more popular. And then I think his wife died, which was like a really big thing for him. And then people are very mean on the internet, and he's one of those people that is probably like he who shall not be named, always needs to defend themselves at all times, no matter what. You know what I mean? Like, he seems like one of those people. And unfortunately, like, he is very affected by the things people were saying. And like, he started kind of deteriorating, and he had an accident. And like, he had a couple moments in there where he was just kind of like, you could tell that it was like the internet was getting to him. You know what I mean? And it was like, damn, this guy really needs to like just step aside.
Just
from the
turn it
internet
off. Yeah, turn it off for a while. Just
and then there was a point
away.
where he had an accident, and he like hurt his knee, and then he got addicted to painkillers. And then he had to work his way out of being addicted to painkillers. And people on the internet were like, wow, such a good fucking therapist and like psychologist, and you still get addicted to painkillers. What an idiot. And like, he took that very personally, and was taking it very personally, and it affected him a lot. And obviously, recovering from being addicted to painkillers is not easy. That is a very difficult thing. And he was still processing the death of his wife from like months prior. So like, a lot of things stacked up on themselves, but he just would not interact with the internet. You know what I mean? And it basically sent him down this whole, right-wing rabbit hole now. Where now
spiral.
He might not be like evil, like genuinely like these pieces of shit that I think like this is some evil shit. This is some heinous stuff you're doing. But he's just like a lolcow. He's a kind of a broken man that they know. Like, it's just kind of sad to look at. It's like, I feel kind of bad for him, because I think I feel bad for him in the same way. Yeah, but it's also the same way that I feel about like most lolcows. You know what I mean? Like, people that get made fun of. Like, even as much as Chris Chan is like, haha, hee funny, he was a mentally ill man that was taken advantage by the internet. You know what I mean? So like, I feel kind of bad for him in a weird aspect of it. Even though he's an adult that did some horrendous shit, there's still an aspect of him that I'm like, probably most of this wouldn't have happened if he had just been allowed to be a normal kid and grow up and do his weird shit in his room, and like not have the whole internet shit on him,
like dog on him. But he's
like,
also the most documented person. So like,
but that's also part of it. No, he's done it to himself. But the internet giving him that much attention definitely worsened an
He
already
made it
bad
worse
problem.
by default. Yeah.
So like, whereas I feel a little bad for him, even though he's gone down like a point where I'm like, yeah, I don't agree with him in any. Back in the day, I could at least agree with him on some things. Now it's just like I just can't agree with the guy. More than anything, I just think he's a person that needs help. Whereas somebody like Ben Shapiro is like, no, you don't believe in the bullshit you're saying. You're just making bango
Money
dollars
off the
off this
fact that
shit,
you know.
and you
Yeah.
know that you're making money off this shit. You're not gonna switch that up because why would you? Like you're making so much of.
Of course not.
What con man stops the con at the most profitable? You can't do that. You know.
It's not
Devaughn,
good business sense.
I don't know, like you. I don't know, like your aspect of it, Devaughn, because you also watched it. But like, for me, it was I don't know. It was a weird experience with Jordan Peterson.
He was a good, funny guy, and then became an asshole. But it is what it is. It's the good guy becomes a villain. He was
Like-
trying, but he's got so much shit happen to him. It's just like and him just kept him pushing him. He's fucking broke. He's like, fuck you guys, and like everybody's like, oh, he was an asshole all the time. It's like
The
no.
worst thing you can do to the internet is like retaliate that harshly and aggressively. You know what I mean? Like,
You're right, buddy.
Yeah. No, for sure. If you tell the internet to fuck off, the internet gets real mad.
they're like, oh, okay, fuck off. I see, but like,
I see. I'll ruin your life. Oh, so
like it's
the internet's retaliation is crazy sometimes.
with him. I think it's a different type of like you could watch if the problem with him was if you watch Jordan Peterson videos, you would get red pill shit because they were like, you're a vulnerable young man.
You must be around
Interesting. You're probably like around 19, 18, something like that around the time when he was at his popular kind of level. We can probably throw in some like random fucking red pill shit in here and there. There's like I don't know, a lot of influencers, stuff like that. There was that dude that like went to prison. I remember, and like when he got out of prison, he became like a fucking influencer, and he was like one of like alpha male fucking dudes like that actually had that whole thing, and like he's a fucking ex-con who like legit has done nothing with his fucking life, and he's gonna be like, yeah, dude, like he was on a show where they were comparing, it was like him versus this regular ass the most dad looking dad you can think of, you know what I mean? And the dad's just sitting there on his chair, just chill as fuck, and like he said some joke about like him being in prison. The dude got so fucking worked up. Like so fucking worked up. He's like, bro, I can drive I drive a car that's like more than your entire fucking yearly salary, man. Like I drive that shit every day. I have a house that you were not even gonna like. He started going off on all that shit he had, and like the dad's just sitting there like, yeah, like the way you look at a toddler that's having a fucking tantrum. It was so fucking funny because it's like, yeah, at least I never got to fucking. The dad literally goes, yeah, at least I never went to fucking prison and ruined my life that way. And, at least I'm not covered in ugly ass tattoos and shit like that. And, like the guy's like, what the I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you, and immediately they go for like I'm gonna fuck you up physically. Like that's the most ultra red pill shit. On top, that's a red flag in general, but like in general, like if you're somebody who goes to physical violence that hard over somebody like making fun of you, like holy shit, like I get the whole concept of like Mike Tyson's whole like people got used to not getting punched in the face, and then like it's like for certain things I can understand it, but like if you're talking shit to somebody and making fun of the way they look, and then they do it back to you. You cannot get physical with them.
You can't get mad.
There's no way.
You can't get mad. And the dudes who are
can't take it. What's wrong?
the really red pill dudes are like that though. They'll fucking make fun of you all day, but the moment you make fun of them, how dare you make fun of me? That's so fucking. Do you know who I am? Like, do you know how much money my fucking car's worth? It's like, I don't give a fuck what your car's worth. I'm like, your car's worth.
I'm talking about you. You as a
person,
person.
goofy motherfucker. I'm talking about you, not the car.
Look at my rims. Look at the house I have. Like, bro, who asked?
Who asked what you have? I'm talking about you. But Leon, I want to hear what you think about this because you've been quiet. So let's hear.
I have been quiet. Been quiet.
Mm-hmm.
I've at first when you said red pill, I'm like, what the fuck is red pill?
I had a feeling you didn't know
about that. Yeah,
I noticed that.
I was trying to figure that out and everything, and as you guys were talking and explaining it, I did the research and everything. I see it, and yeah, I have consumed some of that media, and I don't know. It's just something I see, and I don't really care. What's the best way to put it? I see their opinion, and I just like, all right, cool. That's what you say. Take it with a grain of salt, and I'll go forward with my life, and. From there, not all women know what they show and say. Men some circumstances, I guess, in like as they said before, you said before, like in court, maybe like a divorce situation, child situation, may seem sad on one side, but they got justice. They found out what it's supposed to be. Now they just need to build themselves forward.
Just improve with your life. Don't hold on.
Yeah,
to
improve with your life. Because what most of the time nowadays on my feed for like YouTube Shorts, whenever it pops up, I sometimes see the "Are you the father?" cases and such, and
You just get some bunch of Maury games.
yeah. No, not Maury. Sadly enough, Maury would be far better. But no, it's just people in court, and then the judge is saying, "Oh yeah, you're not the father," and then the man's just breaking down because after all these years, him putting so much effort or trying to put so much effort into this child is not actually his, and
yeah, that's rough.
It's like, damn, that's rough, and. Sometimes the woman is sad, other times the woman's like happy and praising, and then the judge scolds them, and it's just like, all right, sad situation. Glad you figured that out. Go forward. And I can somewhat relate to the court one because there was a moment with not me but my brother. He had a circumstance akin to that and found out that one of the children that he's taking care of hasn't been his.
That's rough.
And no, and
I mean, that is incredibly fucked up. That is incredibly fucked up.
Yes, I got so angry to a point where I debated on punching a hole into a wall. My mom had to stop me, and then that rage stuck with me for at least
like
there's 3 to 4 days.
There's that level of betrayal that like I think
comes with something
they
like that,
count on you feeling whenever you hear something like that, because it's like, man, if something like that happened to me, like holy shit, like oh my god, like
yeah. Or like people that have gone through that as well. You naturally it's kind of what they try to pull on, like that sense of like betrayal, like that idea of like this could happen to you kind of situation in a lot of cases. Not so much with what you're inherently watching because it's just court cases, but like a lot of that kind of media will pull those and be like, oh yeah, this is a thing. They'll be like, this is why the divorce rate is so high and all this other stuff.
Yeah,
it's like,
in general.
Well, but that's also just for what they say. It's up to you to decide if you want to go through that or not. It shouldn't be.
No.
Their words shouldn't affect your outcome. It should be like a big thought in the side, maybe, if anything
and
else.
You're right. But it shouldn't affect it. But you have to keep in mind that the people that they're targeting are very.
They're younger people usually. They're impressionable.
Yes.
I have a question about at least what happened to your brother, if you don't mind, like sharing. Like what happened there? Like did he like get his name removed from the kid's birth certificate? Like is he still paying child support for the kid? Like
he's no longer in contact with them.
Okay, so he managed to get out. That's good. A lot of the stories will involve like shit like that, and it's like they put my name. I don't want to really go
deep into it, but I will say that he did want to be in the kid's life for because he did raise them for a while and everything. He wanted exactly. But it became to a point where he had someone else already. He did the dumb decision in knocking that person up and everything. And now he has to deal with that circumstance with that child and his new woman and everything. And he had to either choose to take care of his actual family now or try and take care of this other person. But, he chose the better decision. But,
he's being a father to the kids that are actually his kids, even though
I always feel really bad for the kids because like imagine being like, this is my dad raised me for like a year or so, and it's like, oh wait, no, it's not. I mean, at least it's a kid. If it's really young, they don't even realize it. You know what I mean?
From what we know, I think we still have a large impression in the family itself because of how lush we've been around them and everything. Yeah. So we're happy about that. But it's still a shitty situation.
Of course.
It's not great.
I think they'll latch on to a lot of times like the people that talk about this stuff like in court cases, how often like court cases are, especially like maternity and like not maternity but like with children, court cases tend to like heavily favor women in a lot of situations. It's not always, but it tends to in a lot of states especially. And like it can be kind of rough to see like a dude get fucked this hard, and it's like, damn, like there are there are dudes that I met a guy who
Like,
was
want to
like
be
legit.
fathers, that-
Not even that. It was like, yeah, no, she put my name on the birth certificate knowing that I wasn't the dad. She was cheating on me during the whole pregnancy and after the pregnancy. I didn't find out until a year after the kid was born that I'm not the dad, and she's been fucking the actual kid's dad this whole time. But in my state, I can't legally take my name off the fucking birth certificate because I put it on there, and it's been X amount of fucking time. So I'm stuck here. So even if I prove the kid's not mine, I still have to pay child support for that motherfucker,
Which is
even
crazy.
though he's not mine.
That part's crazy.
That's wild.
You know?
That's very, very
so
insane.
like
That.
does shit like that. That's like, yeah, I'm like, that's bullshit. Like actual bullshit. That's insane. And like they'll latch on to shit like that happens to make you feel that anger, that like level of like, man, that's unfair, that's unjust.
Yeah,
you know,
but like to be fair, situations like that aren't.
they're not
that
always
common.
happening.
It's
but
not. It's
they're
not
not
that
everyday
heavy of a
circumstance.
situation. Yeah,
you know,
But it's also something that you either
It sucks.
sometimes actively
It sucks,
find,
but
or sometimes just wrapped into as well, because sometimes you don't realize that at times.
and like, yeah, it's a horrible thing that can happen to men in court. You know, also like false allegations, stuff like that. You know, like that's something.
yeah,
that, like
that's a heavy.
that's a heavy one because it's like, yeah, like there are people online that are like nothing bad can happen to men, and like, you know what? Judging by the fact that Trump is in the fucking White House, they're not wrong. Realistically, they're not wrong. You can be fucking proven of doing some heinous shit and still be in the White House. So like, as much as it's not a justifiable thing,
I
they're
get
not
what you're
like
saying,
like.
but Trump's also like a very rich white man that's chilling up here. It's like,
No, I know,
don't think,
but like that's what I'm saying. Like,
I don't think
realistically
me and
speaking,
Devaughn or you or anybody
Yeah,
in this call could get away with the same shit
like,
by any means.
like what I'm saying is, women getting
But I do-
abused
I do-
by
I do
men
see-
happens way more than women falsely accusing men of shit. And as much as I think falsely accusing somebody should get you, like in the U.S., I do think it's a big thing that happens with how your legal
you
system
have
works.
mentioned this. I kind of agree.
But I think it's
falsely accusing someone of a
falsely
crime
accusing
should
someone of a
result
crime
in-
should result in you going to jail for the amount. If you did it knowingly,
Like
knowing
double.
that this person was innocent, you should go to jail for the amount of time that they were going to go to jail for. 100%.
Yes.
Like not double.
Yes, I
I just
agree
think it's
with
like, oh,
I
you were
agree.
about to willingly, knowingly send this person, this innocent person, to prison for like 25 years. That's too bad. You're going to fucking prison for 25 years now because you lied to the fucking court. Like I feel like there needs to be some kind of punishment for falsely accusing people. You know what I mean? But I do think it's like more women, I think, are probably abused by men around the world than women who have falsely accused men, realistically. So, like, yeah, you know, I understand why there would be some women that are like, yeah, it's not like anything bad can happen to you. Because you look at it,
And
they're
you
not
definitely see some
wrong.
wild shit
You
just
know what
kind
I
of,
mean?
You know,
you know,
just
Yeah,
kind of just
yeah,
passed
yeah.
through.
you're kind of not. It's
yeah.
like the whole like bear. I don't know if y'all remember the whole like man versus
yeah,
bear
yeah.
fucking internet
The-
thing. That shit
if you
pissed
see
me
it in
off
the
so
woods.
much on so many
I
different.
know
sides.
why you're pissed off. I also totally understand why they picked the bear.
No.
I get
I'm
it.
not pissed off they picked the bear. It pisses me off that that's a conversation because people don't understand why people are choosing the bear. It pisses me
Yeah.
off because there's women that unironically are like, yeah, I would definitely be safer with a bear. And I'm like, look, I get people can be dangerous, but I know that this is like a whole thing, but please understand that bears will kill you. Like you need to understand
They will
that.
rip you apart
Like
by
they
many
will
means.
rip you apart. Like I also would honestly though feel a little like depending on the kind of bear, you know, I'd probably feel safer with a bear than another dude like being close to me if I didn't know them that well. But like people,
Yeah.
like I that's my thing. I don't.
But I get it.
You saying I hate it? Like I don't hate the argument because of like the
yeah.
way. I just hate it because like people on both
People get
sides
so-
used it to justify their dumb fucking like I hate all men mentality. We're justified in it.
Yeah,
I
well,
hate
I hate
women
all
because
men
women are
mentality,
fucking
yeah.
stupid mentality are also benefit. It's like it's just
It got
it's
used
just
in
dumb.
the
It's just
stupidest
dumb.
way.
It's
Yeah,
just dumb.
it's
You
fair.
know
There's
what I
just
mean?
so many
It's just a
perspectives
little
you can
talk.
throw at it. It just doesn't matter.
You know.
The sad part, the actual saddest part is that the big takeaway, and this is what I took away. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I feel like from the sound of things, it sounds like you guys took the same thing away from it as me. But my big thing that I had with that is I was like, the big issue that we should probably be looking at is the fact that like so many women picked the bear because apparently they may have
had something
in
bad happen to them,
situations-
or they've been
Yeah.
around people that have
Yeah.
had bad things happen to them. We as men,
and it's like it should be a question to us a little bit
as
more.
dudes, why
As to,
are
like,
we?
why are we?
And I'll be honest
why
with you,
are we
Ahmani,
so frightening? to
I'll be
them?
honest with you, Money. It's not even most dudes. That's also the thing that I talk.
It's like
like,
the
I
small
tell
most of
people.
us, yeah.
Like I always am like, look, I think there's an equal amount of pieces of shit of man versus woman. Like I will fight that to my fucking death, because there is an equal amount of pieces of shit in both sides. The thing is, like, the types of pieces of shit, I feel, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, men that are pieces of shit are like,
we'll do some heinous stuff,
some specific,
depending on how far down we go.
You know, like, yeah. What I think is, like, you know, obviously men have, you know, it's been a male controlled world for a very long period of time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, there have been women here and there, and I do think that there should be more women. But, like, there's also this ideology that, like, adding women would erase all this stuff. And I'm just like, have you met women? Specifically women that are, like, incredibly, like, especially women that are going to be in politics, which isn't just your average, I want to be no, this is, like, the kind of woman that wants to be, like, some shit.
Wow, no.
Women who are, like, devoted and, like, going to do something are a different fucking breed of, like, holy shit, you know, like, whoa. If you think
that's just determination.
No, I know, but, like, they...
Yeah, no, for real.
When women set their mind on shit, all right, like, it's kind of scary. They fucking will do shit, you know what I mean? And, like, the idea that, erasing all men from public office would make it all better. It's like, nah, dude, have you met women? Like, do you know how fucking conniving women are? And I mean that in the nicest way to women that aren't conniving. I'm scared of that argument. But women are fucking scary, okay? Like, my uncle, his fucking wife took his entire life from him. Like that. He didn't even realize it happened. Dude was working in the United States trying to make a living, saving up money like a motherfucker, sending it back home. He moves back to the Costa Rica, guess what? His fucking wife is shacked up with her fucking new husband, she is now actually legally married to, and she takes his house, his whole fucking like a bunch of land that he bought, his car, his kids, and then kicks him out and leaves him like fucking empty-handed. Takes all of his money, and he had to pay child support for both kids for like 18 years. You know what I mean? So, like, with dudes, like, piece of shit dudes are abusive. You know, they'll beat you, they'll hit you, you know, they're, like, verbally abusive, mentally abusive, you know, physically abusive in some situations. Very controlling,
it's usually a power
controlling, manipulative, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Evil women are, like, the kinds of fuckers that will write down every fucking thing about you until they find the one thing that would, like, destroy you for the rest of your fucking life. And, like, they'll do that. You know what I mean? And they'll fucking do that. And it's not even me saying that. This is other women in my life that have been like, nah, dude. Like,
like basically proving that. Yeah, like, oh my god.
You know, like,
talk about two different crazies right now.
Yeah.
You know, it's a very...
They're just different types of crazy.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
And I'm not saying one is better than the other or worse than the other.
Oh, no,
I'm not going to argue that. It's just different types. And there are abusive women. Like, there are women out there that, like, you know,
are physically or like
hit their spouses,
emotionally.
You know, emotionally abusive. I think is like, because oftentimes
the most common.
Most girls are not bigger than their, you know, partners, and like maybe their partner's big enough where like they could easily defend themselves if they were to hit them. So like emotional manipulation is easier.
But a lot of women take advantage of that hitting thing.
Of the fact,
women,
chicks, a decent amount of men grow up with the idea.
90% of dudes are not going to swing back on a girl because it's just not going to happen. But I think women need to understand that just because most dudes aren't doesn't mean there isn't a dude out there that won't. Like, if you need to like not hit people. That's something
careful.
I told my girlfriend this. I was like, hey, look, we can get into fights and we get into a lot of things, and you know we'll get angry. But if you fucking slap me, I'm not gonna hit you back. But it's over. Like I can't take that shit. That's disrespectful as fuck. You know, like somebody raising their hand at you like that. I feel like it's very disrespectful. You know, and like most dudes aren't gonna swing back because they've been taught well. You know, I'm not gonna swing on. What's she gonna do? Kill me? But there are dudes out there who get swung at, and it doesn't matter if it actually hurt or not. It could have felt like a fucking fly, and they'll take this opportunity to swing back because they can swing back now. You know what I mean?
Sometimes. Equal rights, equal lefts. Like,
no, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. If a girl was actually trying to beat the shit out of me, like if some, I've said this before to like female friends. I'm like, look, if you ever get crazy and start trying to beat me up, I'll knock you the fuck out. Like I won't not knock you the fuck out. Like let me set this very
purely
straight.
out of defense.
Just out of defense.
Purely.
Like they do it first, you end it.
Yeah. Like if somebody comes at me with a weapon of any kind, I'm fucking them up if I.
Oh yeah, no, you're done.
What I mean?
You're
like,
you're
no
cooked.
way. No way. You know what the fuck? Like
I'm not dealing with this.
The idea that I'm not going to retaliate because you're a woman is kind of a bad way to think about it, unless it's like like I don't know, if a girl starts like punching me over and over, it's like, okay, I'm gonna walk away from you and leave the situation probably. But if like you're like trying to kill me or something, you know, it's equal rights in this world. You know,
the situation changed.
Yeah,
changed.
But there are definitely dudes out there that will swing on a bitch. Like they will 100% swing
for
on a chick.
just
like
for
just,
breathing.
Like it's insane.
For
it's,
nothing more than just
that's
existing.
just crazy.
And it's wild. Yeah.
You know,
those people are crazy.
Just I don't know, but I feel like in general, like the idea of like hitting your partner shouldn't be promoted on any side, realistically.
Oh no,
even as a joke.
No.
That's supposed to be the person you care about. Why the hell are you trying to hurt them?
Really? Yeah.
For either way.
Yeah. And like,
verbal abuse is also a thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
They love that.
I think a lot of like the red pill dudes are really a lot more verbal abusive dudes because they want to pretend to be nice guys.
Easily.
Like there's this idea of pretending to be the nice guy. Like, yeah, I'm actually like a good person, but they are genuine like pieces of shit manipulators.
Yeah.
Don't trust them.
The problem is like I think with the red pill thing is that there is the idea that you're pretending to be the nice guy, but like they know that they're not nice, and not even like a lying thing. Like a lot of the way that they like act, or like they tell you to act, like this high value man type beat, where like if anyone doesn't match these values, don't worry about them kind of situation. Because it's an echo chamber, you run into a situation. It also has a whole paradoxical thing that I'll get into in a second. But
oh, the guy I'm thinking of was, by the way, his name was Wes Watson. That was the big bald dude that I was thinking of. That was like covered in tattoos.
Okay.
I think Moist Critical did a video about him, like how much of a piece of shit he is, and like I think the guy called out Moist Critical's like fans on Twitter because they were making fun of him. It was very funny. Anyway, sorry. Continue.
But like a huge part of it that's like, I guess I'll get into the paradoxical part. Is like, for instance, they'll tell you that like, the way that you get women is that you have money, right? You have to make yourself like rich. Essentially, you have to have a ton of money, and you have to make yourself look as nice as possible. And it's not that you can't get women in some of those ways, but the type of women you're going to attract is not the type of women that they quote unquote value.
Well, yeah, they literally are attracting the opposite of what they quote unquote value. Yeah.
And in that, they're also like, you want a traditional woman, but you can fuck these hoes. But if you're fucking on all these hoes,
you're not gonna have a traditional woman.
Then you're not gonna have a traditional woman.
It's
you're
also
literally
like,
doing the exact opposite of pulling the thing that you want.
For it is also very like you're going to the club and like going out and partying every single night and stuff like that. And it's like people that are going out to clubs and partying every night. It's not like you can't meet someone.
You can look good. You can look well pit. You can have money as well. It's just that if you go to certain areas and you try and flaunt or use that as your way to get people to be with people, then that you're just going to attract shit.
It's not if money is what attracts females, which I mean it can attract people in general.
It's part of it.
But if money is what's attracting them, then the thing that they're not worried about is you, and that's kind of the problem.
I mean, also, I feel like
kind of the main issue
the reason
is that they're not attracted to you; they're attracted to what you have,
money,
and that's not good. That's not a relationship. That's not how you get a relationship.
It's also like,
are you money?
It's also starting a relationship with an inherent like power like dynamic. You know what I mean? Like I'm the one with the money. You're the broke.
Admittedly,
not a good power dynamic to have.
Not great. Yeah.
You know. Like
you can be the money, like not to say that like a traditional like home doesn't work. It's like you can have actually it's not even that I don't think it can't work. I just think that in today's society
you gotta have a good ass job.
You gotta have a real good ass job if you want a home.
For a one income household.
Oh no, yeah, absolutely.
One income household in today's market. That's actually
we need two incomes nowadays, and sometimes that's not enough. So like
you gotta be making at least like 6 figures. Like genuinely, or like let's say like like high like 80-90K kind of stuff to like be living off of one income. You know what I mean?
It's just that's not it.
You know,
because there's always going to be a situation where it's like, hey, you know, if your partner, whoever it is, just got a job, it would help out a lot. You guys have more money. It'd just be better.
More ways to invest as well.
Because I'm gonna just say this right now for anybody that's listening: if you're looking for a traditional like housewife, like kind of situation, and you're working at McDonald's, if you're working at like I guess let's just say any place that's not making enough money currently right now, and they're going to go out and work their also 10-hour shift, and then you expect them to come home and like do the chores, you're bugging.
Bro, we doing chores, motherfucker. Like, what do you mean?
This is a we situation. Like,
he was chilling all day.
I think it's also like,
no.
you know, there's some people that are like, oh, of course the girl's in the kitchen. And it's like, well, what if like she just likes to cook, and that's how we separate our shit. You know, like,
she just likes to cook.
Like, I love to cook, so like I'll usually whenever Anna's here, like I will cook for her more time, like a lot of times. But she'll make breakfast.
I'm so weird.
You know,
I like to cook. I like to chef.
I love cooking.
I'm so lazy,
I hate cleanup. I hate cleanup. That's what I will do though. Like, I'll be like, hey, look, here's the deal. I will make all the dinner, and I will try to make as little of a mess as possible. After dinner, I will help you wash the dishes, but please help me wash the dishes because I fucking hate washing dishes, and I'm like, honestly, like,
this shit's ass, bro.
Like, I hate it so much. I hate it. I despise it. I despise.
I love doing that.
I don't know, man.
It's fun.
I feel like some people like it because you're just kind of
in the zone.
Yeah, but I just hate. I hate it.
You had a zen moment when you cook,
and like
when you really cooking it. When you really,
I was washing the dishes that I have a problem with.
Leon, the known chef said,
no chef is losing it. He's like chefing, bro. I mean, chefing.
It's something about the if you have when you have a good quality knife and you're just cutting vegetables.
Oh, dude, no. There's a difference between cooking and cleaning up after is always the pain in the ass. Cooking I can do all day.
That's true.
Like, cooking is so satisfying. But like, you know, I don't know. There's it also depends on the kind of relationship your partner's looking for. You have to look at that. Like, I don't know. Like, there are women. Like, I'll be honest. My girlfriend is a very feminine woman. She likes girly shit. She just really does. You know, there's other things that she likes, but she also likes being like genuinely. We were at the beach and I dug myself into the sand, so I was like shorter than her. And she legit was like, I wouldn't date you if you were this short. I'm sorry. Like, she was really honest. She's like, you're still like attractive and physically, but I couldn't date someone shorter than me. Like, she straight up told me that one time. She's like, yeah.
Isn't she? She's short though, isn't she?
She's not short. She's like 5'9", something like that. She's not like crazy tall either. Don't get me wrong, but she's not short. But she's like straight up. She's like, yeah, just, you know, people like different things. You have to find people that are similar to you. She literally was like, yeah, I like. She straight up was like, you know, my friend Chini, for example, our friend Chini, she likes Twinkie guys. Chini loves her a Twinkie guy. All right, that's just the way it is. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna blame her. I can't blame her. I can't be mad at the guy. You know, it's like, yeah, be like, you know, good for her. I'm glad she found a Twinkie guy that she loves. Good job, Short King. You know, let's go. But like, you know, Anna was like, you know, I could not date someone who was shorter than me. And I was like, yeah, that's fair. You know, realistically, I don't give a fuck. I could date someone taller than me. I wouldn't give a shit. I could date someone short. I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck. I feel like most dudes do not have a genuine, like, it's just are you cool? You cool? You cool? Like, you're like like we vibing here? You're like,
can we vibe?
But like, you know, there are like, I think the whole, like, in general, the male manosphere doesn't take into account the whole idea of women have opinions too, and they also like certain things. Sometimes those things aren't you. Some girls like big flashy dudes that are big and rippled and muscly and bald and have weird tattoos and drive an expensive ass car and spend thousands of dollars on clothes every fucking month, and
I bet
stuff like that. I bet, and I know there's a lot of. I've met girls that are like, yeah, I like dudes that are fit, but I don't like dudes that are super ripply. It looks gross, and I'm like, okay, that's fair. I can understand where they're coming from. I get it. Yeah. You know,
I've like chicks that are like, I just like bigger dudes.
Yeah,
I like the teddy bear look. They're just
there's girls that like, those are the whole reason the dad bod's a fucking thing. You know, like people talk about that as a joke, but like there's girls that's like, I don't know, I don't mind the, you know, I like skinny guys. I like, you know, they have opinions. They have each individual woman is not a fucking robot. They're not all a hive mind. They're individual people, and oftentimes like
differences are a thing.
They conglomerate all women and like, look at this is all women in this like one ass bitch they put on their fucking podcast.
Yeah, one of the things I wanted to talk about too is the fact that it's like, I find that the manosphere's definition of like what it means to be a man, and quote unquote by extension what it means to be a woman, to be extremely limiting
Yeah.
in the possibilities of you as a person.
Yeah,
It's like
being a man.
extremely.
You have to be super aggressive and super fucking like absolutely macho, but also have everyone like you for some reason, even though that's not the way that fucking works.
You can't be super macho and be super likable. That's not
like very few people can do that. You know, you have to be a very charismatic person, and they're not charismatic people. There's no way you pull that off. I'm sorry to break it to you. Like you can't be
weird.
All that. Like I don't know. It's perfection, but at the same time, it's a lot of like, it's perfection and weird shit. Like I get wanting to be healthy. Like there's a whole like I do think I'm working out more now and everything. I'm trying to lose weight, and like in general, it's good to be healthy. It's good to like keep yourself physically healthy. I completely get that. But most people don't need to look like fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger in the 90s when he was fucking 80s when he was out here like fucking pumping iron. You know what I mean? Like that looks great. Don't get me wrong. Cool. The fact that the human body can do that, fucking awesome. That's really cool.
That's also
but
not a normal
genetically,
thing.
most people can't do that.
Yeah.
Most people genetically can't look like these dudes, and especially like Wes Watson and a lot of like the roided up motherfuckers, and like there's like those the dude that ate like raw meat that I said earlier that like he was like, yeah, I don't do steroids, I've never done steroids, and he had to come out and be like, yeah, I am doing steroids. And everybody, I remember when people were like, oh my god, he admitted to it. I'm like, what the fuck do you mean he admitted to it?
Look at him.
I could be blindfolded and look at this motherfucker and smell it on him. Are you kidding me? Like what? Like what?
You're bugging.
Look at him. Like look at his abs. Those aren't real. They had implants. He has ab implants, motherfucker. Like those aren't real muscles. Those are not real. He does not look like that from eating raw meat alone. There's no way he's not taking massive amounts of supplements. And he was. Lots of them, actually. And, like...
I mean, your body can't process all that because of the...
Bro, the whole raw meat diet, don't even get me started on that bullshit, bro. It's such dumb ass shit. That is like actual, and I don't mean this in a racial way, monkey shit. Okay, like it's just like
fucking freezing
like ape shit. Like what the fuck do you eat? You're eating raw meat. We developed cooking for a reason. We developed cooking because it gave us more nutrients to our brain. Why would you not?
Our body has developed so much that we can't process raw meat.
That's the reason we got smarter, is because we could more easily feed nutrients that way. Like it was like eating raw meat, you can survive off it. Your body will become adjusted to it. But like your body will also, if you decide to eat cooked food, completely reject cooked food and you'll throw up immediately, and it's just horrible. You have to then learn how to eat.
One way or the other.
You have to learn how to eat cooked food again, because your body's like, whoa, holy shit! Like I'm not used to digesting this, But like, we don't need to eat raw. Just because our ancestors did it does not mean we as people need to do it. Our ancestors used to fucking pee on each other and shit for like like religious reasons. We do it for sex stuff now, but like we don't need to do it. Like,
to be fair, the other thing that's super funny about it is like our ancestors used to eat raw meat, and it's like and then they learned to cook, and they never went back. It's always do that anymore.
Sure, it's important to have learn from our ancestors in some ways. There's things we can learn, but even
for sure.
Even our the ancestors you're talking about are so far separated from us that they were genuinely another species, brother. Like our actual ancestors were not doing this. Like our fucking Neanderthals weren't doing this, okay? Fucking they were legitimately using dried meats and stuff. They were cooking it always, but they were drying it. They were preserving it in some ways. Like they weren't just picking up a cow and just taking bites of the fucking raw meat. You know, they didn't do that.
Just bite.
Like eating the whole animal, the whole fucking bull testicle thing. I'm like, nah, that's got to be some weird fetish thing. Because that
one's definitely
people eat them. There's it's called Rocky Mountain oysters. Like you cook them up and they
look, man.
You eat the whole animal.
As a dude, I just can't eat another
I get it. I also understand the whole concept of eating the whole animal, eating everything on the animal.
I get it.
I understand. I would never eat it myself, but I have there's a thing called Rocky Mountain oysters, which is just bull testicles, and then you cook them up, and they are apparently taste exactly like oysters. Like they're apparently delicious, from what I've heard. I've never ate one.
Man,
I don't want to eat one.
My testicles taste like oysters.
Your testicles might not taste like oysters.
They probably shouldn't. They shouldn't. But but it's just the idea.
But the idea of eating them raw is why do you have to eat them raw? Like, what's the necessity of doing this gross ass shit? Like
that also kind of makes me
it's kind of like the idea of sushi, though. But a little bit different on that aspect.
No, but sushi's different though because it's a fish. It's not fucking
I know,
like it's a different
fish.
animal. It's a different
It's
animal.
still in the raw category, so I will say that part.
They
But at
evolved.
the same time, they do have different styles of it because sometimes it's not just raw; it's slightly toasted. It could
But
be.
again, it's
fused
fish.
with
It's just
something.
not
I
the
know.
same.
Like
I
raw
know.
sashimi, like raw. And the thing is, you can't eat raw meat. Okay, like let me go ahead and say this right now.
I mean, yeah, you can.
Beef tartare exists. Like beef tartare is
Yes.
just straight up diced up like really really fine meat, and
But it's a
typically
good quality
it's
meat and
insanely
then raw
good
egg.
quality meat with the raw egg that's from
Oh, no,
you know,
raw egg.
Also,
Yeah,
you
egg
can
yolk,
you can
raw egg
argue
yolk.
that
Egg
anybody
yolk.
that's like cooking their steak up to a certain point, I mean,
certain like
pretty-
blue rare is
rare is-
arguably
might as well just be
rare. Like it
just
is
rare.
arguably. I mean, rare is some meat's
Raw,
not really, but
I guess,
blue
I guess.
rare is literally just searing it on two sides.
just
like,
raw. Yeah,
But, like,
you did touch
But
it.
his whole
kissed it,
concept
bro.
of like, yeah,
Getting
if
me
you
hungry.
eat this raw meat, if you eat this raw meat, you're gonna look like me. And look at how big and strong I am. Look at my hot wife who also eats raw meat with me. Oh my god, look while she pours.
She probably does not eat
you
raw
know?
meat with him. She just says she does.
It's like this weird
She's
idea
I
of
do
like.
it too.
I feel like that's a whole other like branch. Like they all niche into like specific things. Freshman Fit's like those like fuck boys, you know what I mean? That's like kind of niche.
Yeah.
And like then you've got like the political people, Ben Shapiro, and then the Wes Watson's like roid heads and people that want to get
typical.
ass fucked in prison.
Damn.
And like you've got like this dude who's like, oh yeah, you want to be like your ancestors, you like your great fucking powerful Neolithic ancestors. Like what the like it's probably like a different niche of people that like get drawn to these kind of things because it's probably like working out, but there's those people that are like super obsessed with like. I don't know, like you ever met people that are super obsessed with the fact that they're like Nordic and they're like, yeah, I'm a fucking pagan.
Yeah.
I'm a Viking.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, fucking calm down.
Yeah, I know that.
It's okay. It's all
Although I'm
right.
not gonna lie, I wish I could be obsessed with like working out. I wish like because you know how like for people not as crazy as they are, but like how people do have like that that thing that happens like runner's high, for instance.
Yeah.
Except it's like for working out specifically.
Oh yeah,
Where it's just,
it
it
happens all the
clicks and
time.
you're just like, yes,
You get in the zone.
I need this.
Honestly,
But
working out at my
it's
house
not like a thing for everybody.
is really it doesn't. If you don't like it, for me it depends. You have to do exercises you enjoy. That's the thing about working out is like if you do shit you enjoy, it does that. Like I
personally can't get back to it. I love working out sometimes, but then it's like
I think doing it alone is also really rough. Like it's really nice if you have like a
Yes.
gym partner, having like someone that
Yeah,
you're gonna go with.
or just mentor in general.
Yeah.
And pushing you, talking to you, it just helps out.
Before it got really, because it got like there was a gym I was going to at my mall. It was close to here, and it was like a nice gym, but it just got expensive. It was like it went.
Makes sense.
It was like
Oh, yeah.
I think when I signed up, it was like $18 a month, and it went up to $25 a month, and I was like, ah, shit. And then it went up to like 27, and I was like, nah, dude, I can't. That's like a lot of money a month for like a gym, and like I could do what I'm doing at home realistically if I'm like doing counseling and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm just doing a lot of jump rope and stuff like that at home, and like like I love jumping rope. I just put on some music and just jump rope. You know what I mean? I just kind of zone out, and like
I do want to start jumping.
that like helps. Keeps me light footed. I'm very light footed for a bigger guy. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't expect it.
Yeah, same here. I always scare my grandmother. I'm like, I live here. What are you doing?
you know I am. I just walk.
Walk the kitchen and say, hey. Oh, like, what do you mean?
You live in a house with 8 people. How do you not figure people just walk?
My girlfriend is insanely light footed. Like it's actually so scary. And then with like fucking sound canceling headphones, it's even worse because I will not hear her come up behind me, and she'll just be like behind me, and I'll see her reflection in like the window in front of me, and I'm like, oh Jesus Christ!
Like, oh no!
That's the fun thing when
It's
they
a
don't work
ghost.
too.
Oh wait.
Whenever I'm at work, I'm able to scare all my coworkers because they don't notice me at all because I'm so quiet.
I guess I'm the only one that's not light-footed.
No. When I meant light-footed, I meant like I'm quick on my feet for a bigger guy. Like I'm not like super like I don't know.
These two are apparently Stealth McGee.
I am.
Ninjas over there,
Yeah.
which,
It doesn't happen. It happens, but I'm like, but they
I
notice
got
most
my
of the
feet
time
are
now.
my feet are too damn big to be sneaky, bro. I got big ass feet. It don't work. It's hard.
What size are you?
13 and a half, and then 14 sometimes.
Oh, so you
It
have
depends.
inch bigger than me, or a size bigger than me. I'm 13.
I'm also shorter than you.
It's also true.
I'm
Fucking hate it.
I just have 11 and a half.
By the way, one thing that'll fucking red pill you, fucking big, having like slightly normal, like larger than average feet, fucking pisses me off, bro. Oh, you don't have size 12 shoe? We don't got that. Are you size 24? No, I'm just size like 13, 14. I like, do you have that? No, we don't got that.
That'll pull you right into the red pill.
We stop at 12 and then we continue at like 22, and then anything in between that can go fuck itself. And it's like, all right, I guess I gotta order online. Fuck.
Whoever's designing these shoes, I guess I gotta go.
It's not even the shoes designers' fault. They have them. It's the fucking stores because they just don't have.
Oh yeah, they just don't buy it.
People don't buy it in that size, and they're like, we don't need to stock that. And then the one motherfucker who has a size 14 shoe comes in, and it's like, nah, we don't got that. That's why outlet malls are the best place to shop for shoes.
I just
But like
just carry like maybe 2 extra pairs every so often, just for those people, because you know that they pull up. They will pull up. It always happens.
I don't know. I keep thinking about the fucking raw meat dude, because I just am like the fact that people didn't think he was on steroids, the fact that there were people who swallowed his bullshit so much that they were like, nah, he's not on roids. You're just hating. Is like, what the fuck? What?
No.
Like
I have no reason to hate his games. Just look at him though.
Look at him. He's for sure on something. Like, there's plenty of people in the workout community, I guess. I don't know what to call it. Like people
that are like natty.
That's not even natty.
It just looks different.
There's plenty of people who aren't natty but are very honest about what they're using. Like, there's plenty of dudes who are like, I'm a bodybuilder. This is what I use. This is literally what I use. I'm medically on.
My entire thing is I have to do this.
You know? It's not even I have to. It's just like, I'm trying to achieve things that realistically are going to take me so long to do, and I'm not trying to do this to compete. I want to look this way for a reason.
I need to be this way like next month.
You know?
Yeah, like
maybe not next month, but like I'm trying to make it easier
ultimately,
on my body, you know, and like
by the time you go to compete,
like it's not like
assuming that they're already competing.
All kinds of steroid use aren't bad. Like, there's also this whole idea that like every kind of steroid use bad, idea.
Oh yeah, no.
It's being natty. Like, most people aren't going to need to take juice, which is one thing. Like, most normal people that are working out aren't going to need to take that because you're just trying to stay in shape. Well, that these people are taking like the modern days, bodybuilders. They're doing it for aesthetics. They're doing it for a reason. Like, they're like, I'm trying to do this. This is what I'm trying to achieve. I can't do this shit naturally, so I need help. So I'm doing this because it can help me. So I'm gonna do this.
YouTuber that I follow, Noah and DL.
Yeah, Noel is fucking great.
Yeah, Noel. Yeah, he's fantastic.
You know he's gay, right? I don't know if you know this or not, but when he actually came out officially on this channel, I fucking was screaming because I was calling it.
I was like, let's go!
I didn't know that.
I was calling it that he was gay, bro. I was calling it for years. I was like, he's gotta be gay, bro. He's gotta be fucking gay. And then he came out. I was like, yes, I fucking knew it.
I mean, wow, good
what did you
for
say
him.
his name was?
Noel. No, hold on.
Noel.
It's
copy.
Let's see.
If it's the same guy you're thinking of, because it might not be the same. Let's send it in general.
It is. It probably is. I just sent his his.
Yeah, it is. Yes, homie, it sure is. Yeah,
I love him. He has great cooking videos, great humor.
Yeah,
as well,
he has.
Some things
he is openly on juice. He definitely uses. He does use steroids.
From my knowledge, and he's gotten off of it now. He said that he stopped doing it, but
all right, we're back.
Are we back?
And we're back. All right, yeah. Sorry, we had a technical issue.
Hey.
So yeah, Noel, that is the homie. He has really, like we were saying, he has really good.
He's cool though. He's cool.
Like cooking stuff for like if you need to like, it's for like bulking a lot of it because he needs to stay big, obviously. But he has been very open about his like struggles is about like being big, because he also talked about the fact that he needs to use a CPAP machine because he's like his lungs and everything. But he has openly talked about his steroid use. He doesn't give advice that's going to make him shit tons of money. He makes money because he actually gives good advice and people support him. Surprise, surprise.
Yes.
Surprisingly,
and like
that's how that works.
For the
sometimes.
most part, like, like I don't think he's had anything crazy. Like I don't think he's had anything crazy.
No, he's just been a really good man. Sometimes he also
like older man advice, kind of shit to like younger people. But like in general, he's one of those really good fucking. Lean Beef Patty is no longer a fitness influencer, so I can no longer recommend her necessarily. But no, she started a cooking channel. I'm watching that shit religiously. But like Lean Beef Patty is a very good, like she's a wonderful female like creator like that does insanely good workout videos that like are practical for both men and women. You know, it's not just one sided. And like for the most
I
part,
literally see it. It's right there. No,
yeah.
as of 2 days
Noel
ago.
is
Wow,
also like one of those dudes who's like, stop being toxic at the gym. Stop fucking doing that shit. Like the total opposite of like Wes Watson. A bunch of these guys is like, yeah, be the alpha male, be the big dog. Where it's like, dude, if I go to the gym, the reason I don't like going to the gym is because I don't like getting looked at. I don't like being like a ton of people around. This is why I always went. I just, in general, even if I know they're not,
when I get the gym to myself, bro,
they're not
that
looking
shit
at
is
me.
gone.
It's
I know that it's
fantastic.
not like
It's
it's whatever. I just don't like there being so many people. It fucking bothers me, but there's so many people around. You know, so like I always wanted like to go alone, but like he's one of those people that's like the total opposite of like the meathead, where like his whole thing is like don't be toxic at the gym. Both like in general he's done videos where it's like stop filming at the gym and then getting mad when the person who's not working but at the gym working out like doesn't look a certain way or looks at you a certain way, because like they'd be like, oh my god, he was staring at my ass, and they would post a video with this dude's entire face onto their Instagram with like thousands of followers, and it would be like the guy's working out and she like is working out, and then they happen to kind of glance over and immediately look back and like, oh my god, you totally look at your ass. It's like, bro, it is in his complete line of sight. The man is locked in, glances over, locks back in. Like, he doesn't even, like, stare. It's not like he was looking at it the whole time. He was just, like, what the, like, that kind of, like, toxic gym mentality. He's one of those people that very much tries to break that, on that.
To avoid that, yeah. Or try to get people to just not. And I get
like,
that.
There are very positive, like, people in, like, the quote-unquote manosphere. Because like the manosphere unfortunately encapsulates some like a lot of things. There's a lot of people,
some
normal,
some relatively
like quote unquote people, like I feel like with him he's not necessarily in the manosphere because he makes it for everybody. He's not doing shit just for men. You know what I mean? But obviously a lot of men are gonna work out and do, like there's a lot more bodybuilder that are dudes than women. And like I think he did a video about the fact that like his he does have like a lot of female followers, but most of them are dudes. So he's like, yeah, a lot of guys are looking at my ass, and it's like, yeah, it's amazing. Like it's a glute. Those are insane glutes. Like that's crazy.
He's like, he's doing it. I gotta glutes
he's
like
insane. And like it's also because he's very honest about the fact that most people aren't going to look like him. Like I think that's a big part of like people want to look a certain way. Like when you were growing up.
I want this
like when you're growing up, growing up,
but that's
like
different.
like I don't know, Devaughn, what was like a guy, like an actor or like a character that you wanted to look like when you grew up? You know what I mean? When you were a kid.
It's always Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. Arnold Schwarzenegger is fair.
That's fair. That's fair.
There's the guy from Predator, the black guy from Predator with them big ass arms. The guy that was in fucking Rocky. I'm trying to remember his name right now.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember who his name is too.
He recently passed. I forgot his name.
Yeah, he passed away.
Damn.
Carl Weathers, yeah.
Carl Weathers.
Carl Weathers was fucking shredded, bro. God.
Well, that's the Carl Weathers was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. That's still one of the coolest things from that movie. Is just the two of them. I always wanted to get that buff with a homie so I could do that.
So much homoeroticism in one movie, and yet it's one of the most macho movies of all time. Like that movie is chock full of homoeroticism. Oh yeah, and it's like,
but that's hilarious because like it's the perfect example of like what goes against the manosphere in like crazy ways.
Extreme
like,
badassery, but also these are like
wrong.
My friends.
Extreme badassery.
Having connect. There's the idea of having
my
friends.
Homies. Good.
Like the manosphere does not promote at all. If there's one thing that these dudes will not promote, you have is friends. They will not say, "Hey man, having supportive group of individuals who love and care for you." Nah, that's the pussy shit. You need steroids. Like Duke Nukem.
Take these pills right now. You don't need that.
They
fuck
do
it.
not
What you need is money.
The idea
cry
of like,
into your fix of money. In fact, no, don't cry at all.
Like it's the idea of like men need friends too, and like there's like this whole idea of like the male health crisis and all that, and that's a whole other like conversation. You know what I mean?
I think that this adds to that.
There's a good conversation as to whether or not that's real or not. But like my thing is like I just think at the end of the day, like a lot of dudes don't know how to make friends. Like there's dudes I know that don't really know how to make friends. I'm lucky that I know how to. Like my parents raised me to be a fucking functioning human being, But like, there's people that just the way that they were raised didn't incentivize them developing an actual healthy relationship with another human being. You know.
And it happens. I mean, like Devaughn, you laugh, but like sometimes it's just something as simple as like maybe you initially.
I laugh because I know a lot of people that just cannot who we.
But like maybe you just started off as just someone that was like very friendly, and then like you just met the wrong people growing up, and now it's just like
same thing with
everything you do. You just are super paranoid about
because you're like, I don't know if maybe like they just had some chick break their hearts hard, you know what I mean? Like just real hard, and they just never got over it. But that's what it kind of feels like with a lot of these dudes. I just feel like they never got over something, and like they now need to prove themselves. You know what I mean? And like, I don't know, like,
and like no one
I
ever
feel like the idea of being
no one ever
the idea
bothered
of being
to like
perfect
get them out
to
of
them
that.
is like that's what they want. They want to be like perfect. I want to have all this shit, so that way the person who fucked me over or like broke my heart or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? They can look at me and be like, yeah, fuck, yeah, damn, you know, I could have had that or some shit like that. You know, this kind of idea.
Yeah,
and like,
I think that's the weirdest part is that it pushes for like self-confidence, but it pushes for self-confidence.
It's arrogance.
In, like,
it's not
it tells you to look for
self-confidence. It's
self-confidence
arrogance.
in the weirdest
There's a
ways.
difference between being self-confident and arrogant, and I think there's people that don't know where to draw that line.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's the worst part. Well, I guess because that's the thing. It tells you to be confident in yourself, right? But the lengths at which it pushes it to is ultimately like arrogance. Like the result of it leads you to arrogance as opposed to because they themselves arrogant as fuck.
Yeah.
But like the person that they're influencing,
they may not be arrogant.
The idea, the message that they're hearing,
being arrogant is good.
Yeah. Yeah. And so sometimes you fall halfway in between, but sometimes you definitely get people that are definitely like way too far. Like you've pushed too far, man, and now we're here. Like now you're a dick. You need to run it back. Hit the
I don't know about
the undo
button.
Guys. Run that back, bro. Go back.
I always think like it's hard for me because like, and this might sound crazy. I grew up in the United States, and my parents were married, and they weren't divorced. And I grew up in the same house as both of them. And like when I told that, I genuinely had people in the United States look at me like I was a fucking unicorn when I said that my parents were both married and living in the same household, and we had a pretty decent relationship. There was some stuff going on, obviously. You know, we're humans, but we had a pretty decent relationship. You know,
no one's perfect. Yeah.
You know, we love each other, and like this idea of like, oh wow, you have like that must be nice, and I'm like, oh shit. Y'all motherfuckers didn't have that. Like, I legit some like, wow, you ever meet your dad? And it's like a couple times, and it's like, what? Like genuinely to me, it's a wow. Like Devaughn, you
on the weekend type
like,
shit.
How often did you see your dad like when you were in North Carolina? Yeah.
When I was younger, I saw when I was in North Carolina
so like
once
a year,
summer.
You know what I mean? Like
that's fair.
That
makes sense.
When you lived in a different state, though, you still talked to him. You know, you had contact with him.
But like when I lived in the States, it was the weekends maybe.
You know,
so
but
it
like,
was barely.
Do you think like did you have a positive male figure in your life that like helped you? You know, was it difficult?
No.
Right? Like it was weird. You know, it's a difficult kind of like I don't know. I always think like I have to look at it from people that don't have that. Like in today's society, there are so many people that do not have a positive male role model in their life at all. Because they grew up in a single mother household, which I don't think is a bad thing. Okay, don't hate me. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I think it's important to have, as a dude, it's important to have a positive male role model to like base it off of that isn't like, I don't know, like, some like
you need a good example. To attempt to
follow
or
improve upon.
And even if you don't have that good example,
I don't know. Like even if it's like a good example, it's like I can hopefully be like this and hopefully better. You know what I mean? Like your goal should be to be at least better. You know what I mean? Like a little bit. You know, for the most part. But like there's a lot of people that like don't have the experience. Well, they had really shit parents because there's shit dads out there. I'm not gonna lie. You know, so I can't blame them. And like.
They're still out there fighting them.
Like dads who are there, but are fucking pieces of shit. You know,
it's still out there fighting them. Yeah, that's
and like,
that's a thing too.
I don't know, like not having any kind of positive male role model. There's probably people who like latch on to these dudes because they're successful or look successful, and they look attractive, quote unquote, by like the really hardcore like modern interpretation of what is attractive, you know, and like it's difficult for a lot of like, you know, with the way the internet, like we grew up on the internet, but we were like in the fucking foundings of it, you know, really of like when it was getting to modern day.
Yeah.
You know, we were on the like before everything was really, I don't know, we were there before everything was really, you know, scary for kids in the sense that like there were predators, but now there's like people that aren't really trying to like take you away and kidnap you and do bad things to you. They're trying to like change the way you think, and they're trying to prey on your like they're trying to prey on you to become a certain way so that you can spend better money on them, basically, and like think the way they do, which I think is just very scary. Yeah, they're trying to indoctrinate. Exactly.
Which sucks. Yeah.
And like, I don't know. I just feel like it's hard. If it was hard for me, like when I was around like 16, 17, 18, getting out of high school, if it was hard for me getting out of high school and dealing with it, I can't imagine now what they have, the bombardment they're dealing with. You know, like I can't even begin to experience. We didn't have shorts on YouTube back then, bro. I can't imagine what that would have done to my brain in high school. Yeah. Holy shit. Like, I don't know.
Internet culture back then was still already kind of wild. It's kind of crazy. Like, imagining that then, it's going to be brain rot now, but to be fair. Oh my god, the combination of the two, because like early 2000s brain rot mixed with like today's brain rot sounds like a horrible thing to be with. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it was still brain rot, but it was different.
Just think about that as well.
That's a different kind of brain. I mean, it's brain rot either way. But that's a different kind of brain rot. That's a crazy amalgamation.
Like for the most part, like, back in the day, you had to go out and search for that shit. You know what I mean? Like you kind of had to dive in there. Now it's just presented to you on a silver platter. You know what I mean? Like here you go, rot that fucking brain. Fuck it, just go crazy.
Do it quickly, as quick as possible. So fast. Yeah,
TikTok.
It's rough.
Yeah, TikTok has made a lot of people.
I blocked so many fucking accounts.
For sure.
Like it's fucking crazy. It's also like sad to like see like, you know, we haven't evolved like at all. You know, it really is. You know, like because I see some of like the comments people put like my girlfriend does cosplay and everything, right? And she did a fucking video where it was her and two other people cosplaying the Powerpuff Girls, and the girl doing Blossom was a black girl, right? And guess what the comments are? And most of them are unfortunately in Spanish. So she's like, "Can you translate this?" And I'm like, "Block these comments." I literally told her, I'm like, "Delete these fucking comments. Block them. Delete the comment. Block it and delete the comment." You know, and it's like, what it's saying, it's like, "Oh, did she get burned? It seems like she fell in the fire." Shit like that, and it's like, Jesus. Okay, like.
Yeah, and you're like,
you know, like,
go ahead and block that guy. Just don't even worry about what it says. Go ahead and get him out of here.
And not go like I get it. You know, the Powerpuff Girls aren't one of their black. Oh my god, like they're fucking cosplaying. You know, they're fucking cosplaying for fuck's sake. They're also not girls that are made of fucking
costume.
Magic. Shit, sorry to break it to you. So like. I like the fact that the first thing is like, oh my god, she got burned in the oven, and it's like, wow, holy shit, go the fuck away, like just leave. Like, why do you even feel the need to comment? Just scroll the fuck away. You know what I mean? God. People are so like hateful on the internet, and like it's always been like that. But people will just comment anything, and like, bro, you can tell, like, I don't know, man, like.
The anonymity of the internet.
I feel like Red Pill,
we can look at your profile.
It leads people to like neo-Nazi territory, you know, and like all that, like, you know, it leads people down that pipeline of, okay, you're getting deeper into this. Now, what kind of dude are you dealing with? Are you dealing with like scammers and shit like that? Are you dealing with potential human traffickers in the case of certain Andrew Tate? Are you know, dealing with like, you know, predators? You know, what kind of things are you dealing with here? And like, the fact that they're so like devoted to these guys, it's like, yeah, they'll like push aside any bad thing they do because like, oh, but he's an alpha male. Oh my god. Oh. I don't know.
No, not the alpha male. That's Chad mentality. Well, I don't even want to say that because you could be a Chad and not be trash.
Chad mentality isn't trash. That's the thing, bro. People don't know how to use it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. True Giga Chad is cool.
Fucking, I had to explain to my girlfriend about the whole Giga, like when I would say that, like that's true Giga Chad, like moment. She's like, "What does that mean?" And I'm like, "Oh fuck, that's like chronically online shit." That's like she is also chronically online, like she is also chronically online, but not really. That's like, she just isn't as fucking brain rotted as I am. I'll be honest with you. Like that's.
He's like, I'm just down there, bro. Like
I'm in the depths.
I'm in the depths.
She like one day we were scrolling through my TikTok, my For You page, and she got genuinely worried because of how it was like fucking 11 o'clock at night, and I just kept scrolling really fast. And she's like, "Why do you keep scrolling so fast?" And I'm like, "Because it's nothing I care about. If it's not something I immediately identify or care for, I just immediately scroll away." And like then she's like, "All right, what if we just take a moment to look at them?" And then she would see the type of dumb shit that my For You page sometimes gives me, and she was like, "What the fuck?" Like it was about 5 minutes of her like being genuinely shocked at the things. Like she's like, "What the fuck is this stuff?" And I'm like, "Dude, it's."
She's like, "Are you good?"
I don't know.
She's like,
maybe.
I've been scrolling past it,
but like the comments in TikTok, I always thought like TikTok's more popular and everything. They probably locked down on that. They don't give a fuck. Like people in the comments on TikTok are insane, dude. Like they will say some like heinous shit and like. They'll then defend themselves in the comments, so I don't know if it's actual rage baiting or if like genuinely they believe it. Sometimes I think it's rage. I've learned to identify rage bait pretty well at this point, but there's times where I'm like, no, this is this person's unironically dog shit like opinion that they decided to post in front of thousands of people, and they felt like that was right. Like they felt like this is the correct thing to fucking say. I don't know. Like how out of the pond are you? I like to think that, like at least our group here, is pretty like a lot of us think differently in a lot of different things. So like it's good to like talk to each other in a lot of ways because we're not an echo chamber. We might hang out a lot with each other online, but we're also like in here. But we have to have things that are similar because we're friends. Like we have to, like we gotta enjoy something that's like the same, right? Like we gotta do something. But like for the most part.
Imagine being
being a friend with somebody who has nothing in common with you would be kind of cool. And also, like, how are you friends with them? Like, how you gotta have like have one thing that both of you maybe like really like, and that's how you became friends. But like,
that's on the way.
The thing that you like is meeting people that are completely different.
That's
the thing that you're like, yeah, no, this is what makes the friendship.
You have nothing in common at all. Like, it's like, damn, shit, but.
Literally disagree on everything.
But like on top of that,
I just like debating.
Debating I think is important though. Like I think debating is a very important part of like growing, like having pushback. I think people not having any kind of pushback is like the worst thing the internet has done. Getting into that situation of finding people who all agree with everything you say, it's like that's not good.
I'm sure like it's satisfying in the sense of knowing like someone else agrees with you, so you're like, yeah, okay, cool. Like I'm not crazy for thinking this, but like if there's like
especially
no
if it's something that's
subjective
subjective
at any point,
if it's an objective thing where it's like this is factually 2 + 2 is 4, and you disagree with me, it's like, well, you can't. You just genuinely can't. You're just doing that to be an asshole. But like, it's a subjective thing. Like, honestly, at the end of the day, there's like tons of things where it's like, yeah, I may not like this show and or movie and or video game, but I know one of you might, and it's like, yeah, I'm glad they enjoy it. I don't hate you for liking that game. Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm not gonna care. But like, genuinely.
But, dag. So, finally, I guess let's do final thoughts. Let's wrap this up. We've been at this for a minute, and I'm not even gonna lie. This conversation, when we got 30 minutes in, I'm like, damn, we got a lot to talk about still. Like, like in that way of like, we got through 30 minutes, and I was like, damn, we still got to talk. Still more. But like, let's get final thoughts from like each of you guys, and then we'll do like how can we fix this kind of situation? Like, just an idea of like trying to get an understanding, because we can't fix the world, but we can at least put thoughts forward.
I have a good idea. Right. I say this world, there's a lot of bad content out there. We just need to produce better content for the world, for positive influence for the world, because this negative is really, really hurting the world. I really hate Tim Pool. I really fucked with him. I'm really mad. He said the world's gonna end tomorrow. The bombs are coming. The bombs are coming. Like
Dude,
they're not.
It is crazy how far like I watched him cool. It is crazy. Devaughn and I would watch his videos almost every day because it was like we got to keep up on this stuff. So we would watch them together.
We watch them
and
together.
it went from that to like, man, I like low key don't fuck with this guy. Me either. Oh thank God. Oh thank God. I thought I was.
I'm not the only one. I'm not alone.
I think more positive content, Devaughn, is a very good thing. Always, you're not wrong.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Like there are bad things in this world, but sometimes
It's fair.
we need to we gotta create some kind of happiness.
Light.
This bullshit around we live in.
The map we
The
got is
seed
crazy.
spawn sucked ass.
Oh yeah, no, this seed was trash, bro.
And I'll be honest,
Could
with
be
you,
better. Could be better.
technically, we're like a better part
Not
of
the
it. There's
worst.
the worst parts of it.
This
Holy
definitely a
shit.
worse part. This definitely. a
I
worse
also
part of the
I also will
seed,
always
bro.
be one of those people that just thinks Americans complain a fucking lot. And like that's like one of those things where I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you know what, y'all,
Oh, yeah.
y'all motherfuckers. As someone who's
There is a platinum spoon up Americans' asses.
there are so many
Deep
issues,
up in
and there
there,
are places in
all
the
the
United
way.
States that don't have that though. That's the problem. There's places in the U.S. that still have dirt floors and fucking lead in their water. Like that should be fixed by now.
Yeah.
We're never
But
talking about
Michigan is
Flint.
still fucked,
Flint,
by the
Michigan.
way.
Hasn't gone away.
That was a
That
whole
has
thing
not
back
gone
in the
away.
day. I remember that shit. It was like in high school when that happened, right? Shit. No, I was not in high school. That was just a while ago. Anyways, sorry. Final thoughts, Devaughn? That was like
A young YN.
Okay.
That was my final
Leo?
thoughts.
That was yours.
Oh,
That was
no,
Aaron's
I
Leo.
was just building up on what Devaughn said.
Oh, you.
Joke answer, let the world
Okay.
burn.
Wait, what?
Just
said
don't let
joke-
the world.
Joke answer, let the world burn. Real
Okay,
answer.
fair.
Yeah, better content. Positive content. Everything is basically been boiled down to just some sort of dark dwelling abyss of, oh yeah, if you do X, Y, and Z, you're gonna get X, Y, and Z. Or some sort of idea of extremism always being stated out, which, everyone should have their own opinion, but at the same time,
It's okay to be
Put
extremist
that
is
opinion
something
aside
that's like
sometimes and just
actually okay.
let
Like
joy
go play
happen.
Warhammer. Go play D&D
Yeah.
and be like a racist elf. Like, do some shit like that. Like come on. Like not in real life. That's just kind of cringe.
That's
Yes.
just type cringe.
yes. Everyone should play D&D and express your
That
feelings.
should be
in
like
there. That's
legally
it
what
should
like
be.
presidents have to do when they interact with each other. They all have to form a D&D party and like play a game together.
And just play that and see how that works. It's like we're gonna go to war over D&D. That's how that would play out. Someone would do something really fucked up in D&D. It's like, you know what? I'm bombing your country now.
Oh
It's
my
over.
And kill a child. What are you gonna do about it? All right.
You know how often D&D parties fall apart.
They gotta be really committed. That's why that's how they got to be presidents. They have to be really committed, bro.
They have to commit. Yeah, they have to commit. to
Oh
something.
man.
If they fuck up, it's all over. You can't be president. You're not good.
You
enough.
must complete. That's a requirement for any national thing to run a country. You must complete one
entire
campaign. Live television. Complete the campaign.
A
Gotta beat
campaign.
that shit.
Any campaign?
Lead D&D campaign.
I mean, you say this. We could throw some crazy campaigns.
Oh yeah, we
You
could.
could
That's chill. Like,
You could throw
be-
some
let-
crazy
let-
campaigns.
be the Sly Cooper. That's easy work. Be a Witcher or be the like a fucking
You have to beat
Skyrim?
that
Like,
shit in its entirety. I guess
I don't know. The crazy one about you saying the Sly Cooper one is that's like, okay, so they have to work together and be thieves. You know how good you have to be a fucking thief? You guys have to have
Yeah.
immaculate teamwork to be
they
thieves,
actually have
bro.
to like work together and communicate with each other.
You have to trust each other.
I guess if any of my final thoughts on the whole red pill situation is, I think as dudes, we have to
as men.
do
As
better.
men.
Honestly, like we more than that, like
Yeah.
try to be a positive example for the people who come like for you, like after you.
Honestly, that's the way I live. I work with all females, and like Devaughn, you're a really good dude, chill dude. I'm like, yeah. Please
Yeah,
look
I'm
at
just
that.
trying.
Look at that. See how I'm so chill.
They always
and I'm
talk shit
not an
about
asshole?
dudes.
That's always like. I'm gonna be
These
honest
dudes
with
out
you.
there.
Like, the horror stories that I hear, like I've heard my girlfriend say about experiences she had in the past, and like friends that I have and the experiences they've had in the past. Like, as dudes, we're kind of fighting an uphill battle because there's a lot of pieces of shit out there, and like unfortunately, you're gonna get bombarded with just so much bullshit in your life about like how you're supposed to be. That at the end of the day doesn't mean anything. It's just kind of what you do. So like. I don't know. Be somebody that if you had a little brother, they would be proud to be like, that's my big bro. I feel like that's how most dudes should live their life.
That's fair. I feel that.
That's completely fair.
That is fair.
I was gonna say something similar to you. Actually, it's just that like, at the end of the day, these people are like. Take things with a grain of salt. There's a ton of information out there that you're going to get bombarded with, especially with
AI.
AI. With the way misinformation as well. But things where they're going to say that you should be like this, you should be like that. Like you should be who you are, or at least the best version of yourself is how I've always said it. Like the presentable,
the best version that you can be of yourself.
That like, it's which. And that doesn't have to be, like, the biggest, buffest dude in the room. That doesn't have to be, like, the most charismatic guy you've ever met. That just has to be you, but, like,
Be genuine.
But you're trying to be... You're being genuine, but also being, like, doing your best to be a good person. And chances are you'll probably find exactly what you're looking for in most cases. A lot of times, some guys might be really lonely. I mean, I'm saying supposedly... I do actually believe that there's like a kind of a male health crisis, like a loneliness epidemic. Apparently, that's a thing.
Yeah,
I think that's also caused by our most men's inability to like do shit about it though. Like they don't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's kind of the deal.
You can stay inside and don't deal with bullshit. Say less.
But at the same time, it's like you kind of want to still put forward. You want to be social, right? You want to get out and try to meet people, and sometimes you have to reflect and look at yourself and change things. It's not that that's part of growing up. It's part of figuring yourself out. You have to go out and fail, but sometimes you also have to be able to like look at a situation and kind of be like, is this really who I'm trying to be like? Like, as much as like Andrew Tate is buff and has cars or whatever
now.
That, right? Yeah, nah,
he's in a prison in Romania.
He's in prison currently right now. It's like, unlike maybe he gets women or whatever like that, but chances are it's like the girls. Like one of the things that I've actually seen on multiple occasions is that the moment you stop looking for love, when you stop looking to find that attention sometimes, and you just focus on doing your best to be the best you can be, and not so much following someone else's path that they're telling you to do, or their regimen. Like, it's nothing to look at like a workout regimen. You're like, okay, I want to get big, like to work out and get more healthier, but you want to do it not because you're looking for love or you're trying to get girls, or you're trying to do certain things. You want to do it for you, right? You want to be buff because you want to be buff. Not if you don't want to be buff. I mean, you just do it for your simple health things. You don't have to work
bald guy on
super
the
hard
internet
to be
told
buff.
you
You just
that's
need
what
to
you
do
need
it for
to do.
maintenance. Yeah, don't do it because of that. It's like, be a decent human being, and better things will happen because of that. Just try your best to. Sometimes that means not giving creepy girls, well, not creepy girls, rewind that, not making creepy comments on girls on girls' posts, because that's the thing that happens. Yeah, you know what? Maybe it's you picking better women. Maybe don't. If you like yanderes, you know what? That's something you can like in the bedroom. But maybe don't look for that in the girls you like.
Is always crazy to me. When they say raw, no question, I'm like, oh my god,
bro. Like, those questions, those comments underneath like posts are like genuinely so crazy to see. Where it's like, wow.
Greatness me every time, bro. But you know what? Sometimes I'm assuming it's just like to get a laugh, but sometimes you look at it and go like,
sometimes they're dead ass.
Because like, don't get me wrong. No, that's the thing. Sometimes they're dead ass, and that's a problem. Sometimes you like, as a guy, you look at it and like by default, I'm like, I'm
that
gonna
is
laugh.
kind of funny.
Like that is gonna make me chuckle. Because I'm like,
that is kind of a...
that's kind of funny. But but a girl is probably looking
when
at
it's
that
like a regular ass photo of a girl, like a regular ass
Weird
photo of a
ass.
girl. It's not even like, oh, it's like a photo of a girl literally throwing ass and shaking it, and you're like, damn, yeah. It's like, okay, you know what? They're like literally doing a thirst trap. It's
Okay,
literally
yeah,
a thirst trap. They're literally shaking. Like, okay, as much as it's probably still not okay, I understand.
Not great. I understand it
more as
better.
like, this is a situation where you say, but if it's just like they post like a selfie and it's like raw. Next question. It's like, okay, dude, calm down. Like,
all right, man.
Not
relaxed, bro. Still out like a little bit.
So I don't know. I think it is also like dudes need to hold, like, as guys we need to hold each other accountable is also another thing for shit we do, because like there are plenty of times where you just might let something slide, and I think there are things you can, but there's things that just do not. If I don't know, there's things you just can't let slide in any kind of situation, even if they're a homie.
In fact, I'm gonna say this right now. If you have a homie that's getting into the manosphere, you could see them. You see them right over there. And they're like, that's a thing. Maybe don't let that slide.
No,
slap your homie. No. Tell him no.
Take away the phone privileges, bro.
Tell him no.
Tell him to lock the fuck in.
Tell him to lock in, and this is not it.
It don't work like that.
It's not it. That's not how it works, man.
Any girl that's worth it
better
is
ways
not
to
going
do
to
your
want
life.
some dude who, like, his entire life revolves around what his car is worth or something like that. It's just not going to work like that, Unless you yourself are also an insanely shallow person and also attract somebody as shallow as you. It's just not going to work like that. I'm sorry. If you want anything meaningful, girls also like meaningful stuff too. You just have to be a meaningful person. You just gotta. Sometimes we gotta look at ourselves and say, would it be worth dating me? Like, realistically, is it like what do I bring to the table? As much as that's the thing that the fucking red pill dudes ask all the time, you gotta look at yourself and go, why would someone want to date me? And that's something you have to ask yourself, especially as a guy, if you're struggling.
And yeah,
most definitely.
Either ask what you're doing wrong in that situation, or why would they want to date you. And maybe you might find that like you don't have really much of anything. Now you probably have something that you don't see, because everyone has something that they can improve on. But like maybe for the most part you're looking at it and being like, nothing I'm doing is really that bad. Maybe you gotta look at who you're looking at then, right? Maybe it's the type of people you're attracting, and maybe just look, or the places you're looking, and look other places. But looking for these guys for advice on stuff that's not it, bro.
As we said earlier, take it with a grain of salt. Their words can sometimes be good, but in certain occasions, but it's not factual. It's just
like we said before, they usually start off with something that seemed pretty reasonable, and then they reel you in until the point that you're like, that's not reasonable no more. But you're already in there, so it's too late.
You're already locked in. There's no choice.
You gotta be able to back out, bro. You gotta hit the eject button. You gotta learn to
have
hit the
that
eject
ready
button.
at all times when you look into it. Just like, oh wait, no.
Sometimes you gotta be like, no, that's not it. And just because some girl hurt you, or several girls hurt you, does not mean that all women are like this. So maybe don't believe anybody that's generalizing at any point. just don't do that.
Yes.
It's not. It doesn't even have to be for females. It's just for anybody.
I think in general.
Generalization is not the best. Yeah, in general.
I still don't get
like
being racist in 2025.
Racist, you know what I mean? Like,
That's cringe. That's extra cringe.
Like, I thought you were joking. You're being serious. That's
Super
crazy.
Wow, you're trash. I didn't realize you were that bad. That's really bad, guy. I thought you were just edgy humor. It turns out you're just trash. My bad. It'd be like that though. And you know what? don't be racist. We're just gonna say that as a side thing. Just don't do that.
That's what I'm saying, Ahmani.
Just don't do that.
And if you are,
That's not
do it
exactly what the
correctly,
manosphere is
learn
about,
all
but just
the
don't do
history
that.
About who you're gonna be racist to, so that you can be more like effectively racist. All right, don't bullshit me with that half-assed racism. Okay, I need that good shit. If you're gonna come at me, you gotta come at me with good shit. You can't come at me with like that basic bullshit.
You better come at me so hard that I can't defend
You better
myself.
learn some like,
shit's like
you
damn,
better
right
learn
though.
some
I didn't even
crazy
know
ass
that.
fact about my fucking culture that I didn't even know, and hit me with that shit, and then hit me with some, like, you know, bro, like, come on. Calling me like any basic slur is just so like, what the fuck, like, get out of here.
Okay, that's different.
Aaron's over here like, get creative if you're gonna do it, bro. Like, fuck.
You also lock the fuck in.
Oh yeah, that just goes for everybody. Lock in. Just lock in. Do better. Lock in on being a better person.
Yes.
Fuck all this.
That's a good way to end it. Lock in on being a better person.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that
Always
sentiment.
strive
100%.
to improve. Always strive in one way or another.
All right.
Every day is a new day.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, we are out of here.
Farewell.
Goodbye.
Be safe.